Hello, hello, hello. Yep, seems like it's working. Hello everyone. Wolf morning and welcome to the stream. Or rather, wolf afternoon, I suppose, depending on where in the world you are. Hello, and welcome. How's it going? Also, hello there, Sly Fox Lover TV. Just dropping a house, gotta go to sleep now, sure thing. It's incredibly early for me here. I mean, not really early, it's 1 in the afternoon, but anyway. Have a nice night and thank you. I will try and have a productive day. Thank you very much. And also, hello there, Oni. Welcome to the stream. The delicious Oni boy. How's it going, everyone? It's your boy, Doug. Showing up today with stream time shenanigans. Would you look at that? So, as much as I'd like to go on and on and on about all the crazy shenanigans that's going on, today is not gonna be a very shenanigans day. I am afraid. So, what the heck is up? You guys, you delicious boys and girls might be wondering. First, I'm gonna lower the music a little bit because it's too loud even for me. This delicious royalty-free music. Like, goddamn, it's too loud. And yeah, today we're gonna be doing some comic book art because I have a comic book page and I need to finish to post today. Because I won't be here Friday. And why won't you be here Friday, Doug? You may ask, and let me answer you, my little inquisitive friend. I'm going on an adventure. For a couple of months now, I think, me and my lion, we have been sort of more or less planning a little road trip through South America. And it's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow we leave and we start to have a cool adventure through the South American southern region. You don't want to go to the northern regions of the South America, but the southern regions, those are slightly better, I'd hope. So, yeah, and whilst I tell you about that, I'm gonna be working on page number 15 of the Interdictor comic, which I'm doing right now. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Also, hello there, Grizz and Tiger. Wolf morning, Wolf afternoon. How's it going with you two? And Oni says, I'm empty inside. What? Do you mean to say I'm empty inside, Oni? And Grizz says, I'll be quite a bit, but you are here. Sure thing, Grizz. No worries. And Oni came into your stream to steal your daddies. Oh no, don't do that, Oni. We need our daddies. Who will buy us gifts and things if you steal everyone's sugar daddies? I mean, I am a responsible adult, or at least I like to think, but I still would much rather have people do stuff for me instead of going and doing myself. So don't steal my daddies. And Tiger says, Doug, it's looking good. Why, thank you. I have already thrown in some work here. I'll talk through it a little bit later. But thanks. I'm glad to know you already approve of my dog shenanigans. And Grizz says, make sure you prepare your gear, Doug. I will. We have been looking things over and, I mean, fuck if I know what we need for a road trip. We've never done a road trip before, so this is gonna be a first time ever thing. I mean, I don't know if my lion has or has not done any sorts of forms of road trips, but I know I haven't. Not in this lifetime, at least. I probably did way too long ago when I was young and my parents were more, you know, a little bit more liberal with things. Then shit happened. They became very religious and none of that nonsense ever happen again. But we're not here to talk about my yesterlife of when I was 2 years old. Instead, we're here to talk about what we're here to talk about again. Yeah, about gear and preparing for trips. Grease said that it's dangerous to go alone, and you're an unprepared chew. You're good. Oh, that's great to hear. And Tiger says, "Oh, fun! Where all are you planning to go?" We are planning to go. Truly, our objective, our destiny, is to getting to Santiago on Chile. Chile is actually a very vertically long country.
Any ideas?
So yeah. If you look, Santiago is all the way down south, and that's where we are planning to go. So that's our objective. So we're gonna be going there. But since we live in Brazil, in Porto Alegre, to be more specific, we will be doing a lot of driving through other countries in the way. Until we reach there, because instead of doing like fancy folk do and grabbing plane tickets and going, we're gonna be driving all the way down there. So I imagine that a lot of people out there in the United States that do road trips, they kinda, no matter where they go, they still remain inside the United States. Here in Brazil we could do that too, but instead of going horizontally through the world, we would be going vertically, so we would be going north into the other states north of where we are. Problem is that most states, the northern you go, the rougher the terrain gets, and we don't very well have good means of, we don't know the land, and the further north we go, not only does the terrains get rougher and more, less hospitable, it also gets hotter, and we're definitely not in the mood to go to an even hotter place during summer, so we're gonna be going laterally towards Chile. So that's our objective for now. In the on the way to Chile, we will be going through. First, probably we'll be going to Uruguay. It's one of the countries that borders Brazil, and we're going to Uruguay. We're going to its capital, which I think it's Montevideo. And whilst in there, in Montevideo, there is what is the word? I don't know the name of this alien technology in English, at least. It's kind of a big boat thing to take passengers from one side to another of the river. You guys might know the term for that, I don't know. Well, it's gonna cross the river, but instead of crossing the river through another part of their country, we're gonna be crossing the river and entering the neighboring country, which is Argentina. So we're going to, yes, that's the word. Thanks, Sonny. Ferry. We're gonna drive all the way to Montevideo in Uruguay. Then we're gonna take the ferry to cross the river, the ocean, one or the other, and into Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. Then, after we're there, we're gonna go back into the road and drive all the fucking way into Uruguay. Into Chile. So that's gonna be the bulkiest part of the journey. It will be once we get into Argentina, we're gonna need to cross the entire country to get into the Andes, there's a big mountain range in the Andes, and we're gonna have to cross that mountain range to be able to access Chile. And then once we're there, as soon as we've crossed the mountain range, we arrive at our destination. It's right there. So that's gonna be our trip, more or less. And then after reaching Santiago, we're gonna just take some photos, chew for a little while, maybe a day, and then we're gonna start our way back. According to Google Maps, the entire trajectory over there takes roughly 26 hours, but we can't do that in a single drive. So we're gonna be, we're gonna be taking short stops throughout the way, and not only that, we're also gonna be stopping a little bit to do a little bit of tourism and whatnot. So that's fun. And that's the itinerary for the trip. Currently, it might change a little bit here and there, but that's the bulk of the plan for our little road trip. Hopefully it will be fun. And Oni says, I just wanna steal Wallace to make some boys hurt. Don't do that, Oni. And you also said, tips for road trips: always fill the gas even though you drop to 3/4 from a full tank. Take tons of snacks, drinks, pillows, and camera. Yes. Yes, we're gonna take. We are going to take snacks, some drinks too. Pillows, I didn't think we would be needing to take pillows. I don't think we intend to sleep in the car ever. We will try our damnedest to sleep in hotels or whatever whatever places we find along the road to stop by, because surprise surprise, it's fucking summer. We don't want to spend the night in the car when we could be spending the night in a hotel room with an air conditioning unit. As for camera, well, I'll be taking my cell phone, so I'll be taking lots of photos. One thing we learned though is that when you go international, there's a little thing that your cell phone does, which is getting into roaming service. Roaming service pretty much means we will not be able to make we will not be able to use our phone services whilst away. Well, not for free at least. So it pretty much means I will have to spend a shit ton of money to be able to use the internet in my phone. So there's a high possibility that I won't even use internet on my phone whilst we're there. So whilst it might sound a little ominous, don't expect a lot of updates, folks. The amount of money we would have to pay to be able to use our phones during roaming is ludicrous. We looked it up and it's horrifying. It's like $20, 20 United States dollars for like 100 megabytes of internet for the month. But still, that's a lot of money for that little amount of internet. And if we were going to, for example, be posting pictures and whatnot, those 100 megabytes would be gone in a jiffy. So that's not a huge plan to take photos and be posting them as we go along. We don't have that kind of money to spend on phone services. So don't expect constant new updates. We will do a big update once we're fully and truly back. But in the meanwhile, you guys will have to, at best, I suppose that the best way for we to do that is to stop in hotels and use their Wi-Fi to post stuff online and update ourselves with the world and the news and whatnot. And Tiger, you said that Chile sounds neat. And then you say also take breaks and switch out drivers if one gets tired. Yes, we will do that. I am not as experienced as driver as my lion, but we will try. And Sam says, greeting Mr. Douglas and everyone, what adventures are we going? We're going to Chile. In a road trip. And on you're a smart boy, of course you are. You're best, smart boy. And Tiger says you must be on the southern side of Brazil then. Yes, we are. Southernmost even. And yep, because Chile is on the west coast. Yes, we are on the east coast. Like we can actually see the ocean from here. It's not very pretty because, you know, coastal city and all that. But we can see the ocean. And Sam says Chile is one of the only countries in South America to not be neighbor with Brazil. Yes, it's pretty far. And Tiger says Peru and Chile take up the west coast of the continent. That it does. Also, my dog. This music is way too loud. And Noni says, whenever you and your family travels, one takes a nap or sleep while the other is driving. So whenever it's nighttime, whoever slept the whole drive can take over to the destination. Well, that's the thing, true, Oni. We're not, you know, the destination is Chile, but we don't want to simply go there. We want to take little breaks through the way to meet the other cities and whatnot. So we're gonna so it's gonna be more of a we drive until we reach a new milestone, then we take a break, then we explore the city a little bit, we meet the local life and the local cuisine or whatever, and then we finally go on with our journey. I guess that only the drive from Buenos Aires to Santiago, which is the capital of Argentina, towards the capital of Chile, that's gonna be the longest part of the trip. So that's the one part where we will probably swap out drivers, but for that we will like drive endlessly. For the other parts of the journey, we will probably take breaks in the cities in between to check them out. And Sam says, we'll miss you, but I hope your trip is worth every minute. I also wish a nice trip for Mr. Guarano. And Sam says, you should just take pictures and post them later. Yes, we will do that. I was just explaining that there's no way that I can post them as I take them. And Noni says, just save the pictures. When you get to the hotel, you can upload them with their Wi-Fi. Yes, we're gonna do that. And Tiger says, yep, show them off after you get home. And Sam says, are you going to exchange them for pesos? Yes, we will also be doing that. When we approach the border here in Brazil, we will take a little break on the border to change our currency for pesos, because we don't have Argentinian money, we don't have Uruguayan money, and we don't most of all have what's it called, Chilean money. We don't have any of these foreign monies, and we are gonna need to go and get them. So when we are on the border, crossing it, we will take a stop to try and exchange our pleb money for their money. And even though we are planning to mostly use credit cards while we're traveling, but some things, like it or not, will require us to use local money, physical money. So for those things, we are planning to stop by and take out a couple pesos and whatnot. Or, well, we're gonna have to find out which country uses which currency and get a little bit of that for each and every one of them. I am not even sure what is the exchange rate, because if I'm not mistaken, there is a possibility that the Brazilian real is a little bit more valuable than theirs. I might be wrong about that though, but I think that the Brazilian real has a little bit more, is worth a little bit more. I might be wrong though. And Oni says, man, if I lived in Brazil, I'd take you guys there. I honestly still wake till 7 AM next morning, so it would have been an easy drive for you to take you guys to Chile. Oh, that's mighty kind of you, Oni. And Sam, if you had your driver's license, you would do the same. You should try ceviche. It's that well-known dish from Chile. I never heard of that before. Oni says, if you guys visited Fort Worth, you would honestly tell your family you need a week off. You need to escort my furry friends who are visiting Texas. So I'll be all week up and about with them, showing them around, shopping in amusements. Yeah, that would be cool, except that, you know, going there is not that easy. So, because as it happens, to go to the United States differently, we need not only passport, but we need visas, and no one is willing to give us lowly Brazilians American visas. So, play. But anyway, hello there, Beowulf Bitter. Hello there. Welcome to the stream, and how are you doing today? Delicious Bell. How's it going? I never thought I'd see the day when you'd show up for one of my streams, but lo and behold, here you are. How's it going? I was just telling the peeps how I'm gonna be road tripping balls in a few days from now. Well, in a few days, by in a few days I mean tomorrow. Tomorrow we leave and we go to places. Oh damn. Alright, I need to really get this perspective line in place before I do anything crazy. I think I got it now. And now, in the meanwhile, I'm also working on the new page of the comic. I don't know if you're following up with this comic, but if you aren't, it's alright. Hopefully one day you will learn of its delicious plot and get into it. But anyway, Sam says most countries from South America use pesos except us and some others. Well, pesos are worth less than pesos. What? Worth less than reais. And now you're right, if you change reais for pesos you get more money to use there. Oh my dog, that's awesome. And Bill, you're fine, and you? I'm doing okay. I kinda promised I wouldn't complain about the heat anymore, but it's hot. It's hot and it's not fun. But other than that, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great even. I was, like I said, I was just talking about the peeps. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 17th of January, me and my lion, we are going out on a road trip. It's gonna be crazy, and people here were giving me little tips and pointers into how to road trip, because it's a thing we have never done before. So how do you even road trip? I don't know. Do you? And apparently it's not that easy. I mean, not that hard, but also there's a lot of things to keep in mind. Also, why in the world can I not get this perspective right, dog damn you? Not sure. I'll pretend that this is it. But anyway, how about you, Belle? I never see you here in my streams. What happened? Are there news going on with you? Stuff you would like to share, perhaps? Probably. It's been forever since I last talked to you, and I would like to hear a little bit more about what's going on your canine life. Also, if you guys notice that the soundtrack is a little bit different today, it's because I went and got myself some delightful. Also, dog damn it, I forgot to open the goodbye bot. it's because I went into YouTube and downloaded a lot of what's it called? Royalty-free soundtrack music to play here on the stream. Also, fucking hell, this perspective doesn't work. So this becomes a 1-point perspective. Does it work though? No, it does not. So now I get what's wrong-ish about this perspective. It's everything. Everything's wrong about this perspective, Doug Daniel. Well, this perspective doesn't work. So there you go. I'm gonna have to wing it. Try and figure it out. Also, now the Goodbye Bot is open, so feel free to spam them commands. And Tiger says, "Don't melt, Doug." I'll try not to melt, Tiger. Thanks for the concern. And Sam says, "Road trip is fun. I've gone to one before." And then he says, "Oh, by the way, Doug, here's a warning. If you or Garano see a roadside checkpoint with no cop, don't pull over. There's actually people who do this to rob people." Oh, okay. Just drive ahead, call the cops, and then get the plate to report it. When you went to California, that happened. My dog. Okay, that's a thing we were looking into. What's the actual dangers and, you know, tricks that people try to do in the roads? And, you know, being here... There used to be cases of corrupt cops and whatnot, so... We were looking into it, and there is the chance, or at least back in the day, there used to be stories of cops using, you know, pulling you over, doing a random checkup just because, and then fining you for whatever that they could find that was wrong, and they wouldn't necessarily fabricate evidence to use against you, but they would use things that you could not have foreseen. They will try and find loopholes in your legislation and use those loopholes to fine you money, and then you will have to pay that money when you are leaving the country. So that's a thing we have learned that used to happen. We don't know if it still does. And that wasn't even like random people trying to rob people. It was like the actual country police. So that's a little scary prospect. But what's an adventure without a little spice of danger and intrigue? Who knows? Maybe it'll be fun, and we'll have some nice stories and cautionary tales to tell when we come back. And we'll be able to tell people, hey, we were stopped by corrupt cops, but we dealt with the situation and we're good. We just lost all our money, but things are okay. Also, at this day and age, we're also gonna try and see what other things we can do to avoid that. So before we go, we're gonna double check our itinerary, like where are we going, which roads we're gonna be taking. We're gonna see if that region where we're gonna be passing through has any reports of such things happening. We're gonna try and be careful. We're gonna try and stay ahead of the game, if that is possible even. But honestly, I'm more so excited about the positive everything that may happen during our trip than the possible negative things that may happen during our trip. Like the opportunity to actually see a mountain range, because little do you know, Brazil doesn't have mountains. To be able to take all sorts of photos, be in weird foreign places, be out in the fields and breathe the clean air that we don't have in big metropolises like ours. it's gonna be amazing, I think. Being able to experience all those things. And the problem that I'm finding here with this pose, let me tell you guys, first and foremost, is that I have no idea how an actual space chair would work. Spaceship chair. I looked into my references. I have a little. I looked a little bit into how Elite Dangerous. If you guys don't know, that's a video game that is pretty much a spaceship simulator. It's kind of Euro Truck Simulator, but with spaceships instead. And they have this very good approach to piloting ships and whatnot. So I'm basing this chair design off of theirs. But I think that the biggest problem here is this back end. I feel like it's too big, too long, too extended, and that's the only thing that doesn't make sense here in this pose. If I were to move it just a little bit, I think it would make a whole lot more sense. And Sam, you said that it was against your will, but whatever. And you agree you have seen that before. Good job, Oni. Have you done road trips? Sure, where, Oni? Your mother was victim of that, but it was inside your city. What? Well, what do you know? She has a cop friend who helped her out and fixed the issue. I know it says just take highly populated roads. Corrupted cops only attack in small roads. Well, gotta watch out for those corrupt cops' attacks. And Sam says, well, here in South America you're gonna be lucky because it's mostly tourist points. The economy is in most countries at least is here. What? Here in South America you're gonna be lucky because it's mostly tourist points. The economy in most countries at last is here. What do you mean, Sam? I don't understand your sentence. I do not. I tried, but I didn't. I couldn't. Also, I forgot to tell you guys. As it happens, yesterday we had no stream. First and foremost, sorry about that. I know that the little, hey, I'm not gonna be streaming today, warning came a little bit on the nose and a little bit on top of time. So you guys who were expecting a stream yesterday will probably felt let down. I'm sorry about that. But what happened is that yesterday we were like, oh, okay, things are happening. We need to get a move on. Because what happened is that we were expecting to receive our new fridge on today. No, today is Wednesday. What the hell am I saying? We were expecting our fridge to arrive yesterday on the Tuesday. Problem is, well, not necessarily a problem. Lucky for us, it came a day earlier. So on the Monday we received our refrigerator, and that's the only thing that was kind of hindering our little trip. We were like, oh, okay, that's gonna come, and then as soon as it comes we need to go, because elsewise we won't have enough time to enjoy our road trip whilst my lion is still in his vacations. So that's the thing we had we were concerned about. But the refrigerator came a day early, so suddenly our Tuesday got freed up. And then we decided, you know what, maybe now's the day to go and really look into all the things we were planning to look into for the journey, for this little trip. But we're gonna be doing we're gonna be leaving on Friday now, we're gonna be leaving a day early. So yesterday we took the day off, the both of us. Well, actually, my Lions is on vacation, so he's taking days off every day. But I decided to take a day off so we could go and do undo things. So we went into the well, the federal police, and we issued our passports. We finally were able to go there, deliver our documents, have them check it all up, take photos, and issue a passport. So now that we do, we don't have passports yet, but at the end of the month we will have passports, and that was cool. We were able to do that yesterday. Also, hello there, Marcus. Welcome to the stream. I'm talking about our little road trip. And also, Beowulf Bitter, thank you so very much for that delicious follow, and welcome to our K9 pack. I hope you like it here. And if you don't, feel free to tell me what is it that you do not like here. But if you do like it here, then tell your friends. All of them. That's so they might join so they may want to join the pack as well. But anyway, as I was saying, we took the day off to go and see this whole passport issue, because we were supposed to have figured this whole thing out last week, the day I took off to go and see the passport shenanigans, but we were not able to because they decided that the day we were going was an awesome day to have their systems break down and not be able to take any more requests, so that sucked. But their system was back and we were able to issue our passport, so we issued them. So now they should be here within the month, like next week. So we're not gonna be taking it with us in this travel. We're just gonna be taking, whatever. Just gonna be taking our normal IDs, which we also went to going and pick up our identifications, because I didn't have a recent one. My old identification, my ID, it's from like 2009, and I look like a complete baby in that picture. So there was a chance that people the authorities would not let me cross and exit the country, Brazil, because of how outdated my photo is, and they would be like, well, if you really want to go, sure, but if anything bad happens, we might not have a lot of power to help you, because we can't really tell that's your ID as it happens. But anyway, now I have an updated photo in my ID. It looks horrible, like any ID photo will ever, but we do have that now. We do have that going on for us. We have updated IDs, we have passports incoming. Yesterday we also went out, we bought some stuff to take with us. We washed all of our clothes, so we have a good selection to choose from for when we leave. It was fun, but to be able to go and do all those things, we had to take a day off. Well, I had to take a day off from streaming to take care of certain things, most importantly being out of the house to go and get my ID. So I'm sorry about that. I hope you guys understand. And that makes a few more days now that I have to make up for in the future with extra streams, I think, and I guess. Also, holy crapperoni, Shadow Cat 221, hello and welcome to the stream. You and your party of 9 raiders. My dog. Welcome, I'm everyone, Shadow Kaz's friends. My name is Douglas and I'm illustrating a comic book page and talking about road trips and making excuses as always. Hands up, they're great. Oh my dog. Don't take our water. We just got our water back and we're not looking forward to miss it. But you can always take Oni. I mean, I'm sure Oni will be more than happy to go with whomsoever delivers the raid. But my dog, thank you so very much, Shadowka. How are you doing today? How's it going? What sort of shenanigans were you streaming? And now that you're done streaming, what is up with you today? What are you gonna do? What sort of crazy, mysterious adventures are you gonna join now in the remainder of your day? What's going on? Also, I didn't mean it, Oni. Don't go. Please, we need you here. Well, I mean, but I didn't really mean it. You know what I mean. I meant shenanigans, as always. I'm sorry. So yeah, Shadowcat, don't take Oni. He's too precious and we need him here, so don't take Oni. Take whomever else or whatever else. Take her money, but don't take Oni. And also, speaking of streams and stream shenanigans, I posted a little thing on my Twitter the other day. Yesterday, I think. Yesterday, I don't even know. Anyway, I posted this thing where I said, new stream idea, game dev blogs or something. The idea for that is for me to go on this whole new I'm gonna make a game thing and actually stream my progress, my work. So instead of, it's probably gonna be an art stream, but it's gonna be me working on art assets for the visual novel thing, and perhaps writing a little bit too. So I thought of doing that. That would make for a nice little change of pace, and you know, that would be a delightful thing to have on record. The one time I stopped everything else I was doing and started showing up the progress in my little game. But anyway, I went enough minutes without reading the comment. Let me take a short break to see what you guys have been saying to me. And Sam, you typed it wrong. Here in South America, most countries have their economy based on tourism. So you're in luck when it comes to sightseeing points. So that's what you meant. And Marcus says, hi Douglas and Heshed, how are you guys? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Marcus. It's a delightful, lovely day today. And how are you doing today? Over there in all the way on the other side of the world, almost. And Sam, you're doing kinda great today. Nice to see you, Marcus. And then he says, Nani, what, ke? Selling me out like that, Doug. By the way, you found a recyclable pencil and it smells good. Its scent is addicting. What? A recyclable pencil? Why would you have something like that, Oni? I don't know about that. And maybe it's not as good to have going on, but anyway. I believe that you know what you're doing. Okay. Talking about things. I was, well, I'm not sure how into that sort of news you guys are, but you know that, you know, they are listening, and by they I mean everyone and everything. Your phones are listening to you, and they are looking into everything you say and look up. We're everywhere. And because I'm looking for references to do this sci-fi comic, I've been looking up things like space station, gravity, Mars, whatever, and technologies and whatever the fuck. And apparently, because I have been looking those things up, they are becoming highlighted topics in my news feed. So yesterday I got this little notification about the news, and the news is that the Chinese space agency, or whatever they are called, they have landed a sort of rover thing on the hidden side of the moon, and on top of that they have on top of hiding, well, not hiding, on getting a satellite to go there, they also landed there, and through automation and other technologies, they were able to plant a little seed of whatever, cotton or potatoes, I don't even know, and this seed has sprouted. So the Chinese have officially planted the first crops on Mars. Although, to be fair, they didn't plant it on... No, not Mars. What the hell am I saying? On the moon. That's what I meant to say. On the moon. They planted the first crops on the moon. And they didn't plant like it on lunar soil. They planted it on inside their little rover satellite thing. It has this sort of, hermetically sealed environment where it has its own oxygen and its own everything, and plants are there inside that little case thing. Inside this vehicle that is in the moon, plants have sprouted, and who knows, maybe people will be able to have little space domes in there and plant crops. So the Chinese have started up, and that's awesome. They have started that sort of space exploration technologies and whatnot. Whereas on the other hand, I also heard news about how funding for NASA has been cut. Not sure if that's an actual story from now or not, or what. But apparently NASA's funding has been cut, and now that has happened, a lot of employees were fired, like 200 something employees, and only 40 employees remained in NASA to, provide life support to the astronauts in the space station. So apparently they may or may not could have fired everyone on NASA and to completely cut off funding to that, but we have people in space and they can't simply say, fuck it. The government cut fundings to the space endeavors, and let's just cut it, and our astronauts who are in space, we don't need them anyway. Don't need them anymore. So who knows? And I'm not sure what points of that news article is like 100% true, which one of them are like speculation, which one of them are actual facts or not. But even if the entire story is a lie and it's not actually happening, the mere prospect of that being a possibility is scary. Can you imagine? For government agencies to simply go and say, hey, there's this whole space program thing, let's cut funding to that. We have better things and places where we can spend our money in, and those people who are out there, let's simply abandon them. We need money to be spent on things here, not there. And that's really bananas. I don't know if any of you have or have not seen any news like that, but well, news of the sort over there. But anyway, it's scary. a scary thought and a scary concept. But anywho, Marcus, you said you're fine. When you can see you streaming Douglas, you know that, you silly dog. Ah, you're way too kind to me, Marcus. I have no idea whatever in the world I have done to deserve all that kindness you show me constantly and endlessly. But you're too kind to me. Thank you so very much. Also, I hope you're having a good day. Necuroy. Hello there, welcome to the stream. You said that you was here waiting for Kim's stream, then you forgot about the time. What? What do you even mean? My dog, Neku. Only you could have forgotten. Well, could have gotten so absent-minded like that to forget this entire thing. Anyway, welcome to the stream, Neku. How are you doing today? How's it going? How's your day? Thus far. Also, oh, hello there, Donodaki. Welcome to the stream, how's it going? Also, woof to you. Only you said, by the way, the NASA cut is from Trump. He's cutting all fundings to continue to build the wall. Really? Are they still going on with that? I thought that was a whole hoax. That it was just like some tactics he used to get himself elected, and that after, you know, he actually got elected and people said, okay, you know what, Trump, we can't do that. It's simply not feasible. He would have said, sure thing then, let's focus on attention on better stuff. I thought he would have, you know, backed off from the whole building a wall thing. Are you meaning to say that they haven't and that they are still going on with that? Is that what you're saying, Oni? Because that sounds, well, bonkers. There's no better word for that than that. And Neku, you was thinking it was noon right now, but no, it's 2 in the afternoon. It's way past noon. And Oni says he was even going to count it as a national emergency if Mexico continues to deny to pay for the wall. Really? Wow. Has anyone ever thought to make a little drama comedy out of that whole situation? I'm almost sure that people have. Which, Anywho. Dono says hello, and hello to you too, Dono. How are you doing today? How's it going? How is your day of the weddings so far? Hopefully there's a lot of cool activities and shenanigans going on over there. And if there isn't, then, well, now there is. My stream is up. Which means you have something to do, if you hadn't until then. But you're a very productive young man. I'm sure you certainly had something going on for yourself already. So no worries. Alright, after a lot of iteration, I think I have finally drawn this ridiculous space chair thing. This is hashtag space sitting device. Spaceship sitting device. I might even crop and rearrange things in this frame just so I don't have to show too much of that. And there's also a background I have to think about too. Don't know how to do the background in this part. Just gonna lay in some basic sketch. This will mostly do with a kind of a transparent brush that serves no purpose other than just being there for, you know, random shit like this. Like, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I need to have something going on back there, so let's throwing shapes with this brush. That's that brush's entire purpose in life. It's sad, I know, but it's the truth. And Oni says nope, he actually made it, and he cut the FDA and USDA funding. What are those two things? Also, hello there, Nathan. Wolf morning and welcome to the stream. Or rather, Wolf afternoon, or rather, for you, Wolf evening. How's it going? How are you doing today? And Donald says, yeah, it's going alright so far. Glad to see you're working on your comic. Hell yeah, I'm working on my comic. If I don't, no one else will. I mean, perhaps some very devoted fan would, but it's not like I have any of those. So, I'm working on this stuff on my own. And Donald says, well, I'll be working on something in addition as well, but I can always listen to someone speak in the background. Oh, that's awesome. Having someone speak in the background is one of the quintessential ways to enjoy most activities. I believe I haven't said, but yesterday after we went through this whole loop and shenanigans of getting document, we went to have dinner on the in-laws, with our Deliance's parents, and they do this thing where every single room in the house has some sort of electrical appliance going on, like either the TV or the radio is playing something. There's not a single room in their house which has no sound going on, and no matter where in their property you are, you can hear background noise. So I don't know what's the gist with that, but it's kinda endearing and kinda good as well. You don't ever feel alone in there. But anyway, Oni says, but yeah, all the people who voted for Trump are rejecting and regretting their choices after he cut the funds through the USDA. What are the FDA and the USDA, Oni? I have no idea what those acronyms means. And Nathan, you're okay. Just got back from work. You want to finish your character today and then plan to visit hospital today. To see your friend, I believe. Is he still in the hospital? I thought that by now he had gone home. But that's mighty kind of you. I have no idea how you do it, Nathan. How in the world do you find time to have a full-time work on your own personal project as well, and on top of that also on top of all those things you do, also have the time to go to the hospital and visit your friends, and still also find time to enjoy other stuff? I don't know how you do that. Nathan said Nash, too many broken bones to get home so soon. Well, that sucks. But on the bright side, at least I believe he's getting all the attention he needs at the hospital. And Tiger says that USDA is the United States Department of Agriculture. Okay, so what does he cutting the funding to the USDA means, really? And also, who the fuck ever, I mean, who the fuck would go and say, you know what? Every single civilization on Earth, on whatever sort of systemic or plane of existence, every civilization is founded on the principle that we need to sustain ourselves, and to sustain ourselves we need food and water, and of course other things, but those things are nothing compared to food and water. If we don't have those, we die. And every single civilization through the course of history, over 6,000 years, every single civilization has only succeeded in existing and not becoming extinct because they learn how to fucking do agriculture, how to fucking plant crops and whatnot. And who, in their right goddamn minds, goes and say, you know what? We don't need that anymore. Let's cut funding to agriculture, to farming and whatever. We don't need to plant food anymore. You can all subside on plastic nowadays. Why not? I mean, what on earth? But, oh, at least that's... I wanna say that that's, you know... that's true, you know, true backwards to possibly be a thing, but... well... oh well. Just yesterday, our new president has just passed a law that makes it easier for people to, you know, get guns. So, just watch out. Crime rates and gun-related incidents skyrocket all the way into high heavens. There's a couple good things here and there, but anyway. Nonetheless. And A. Smith Wrestling, hello there, welcome to the stream. Thank you so very much for that delicious canine follow. Welcome to the pack, and I hope you like it here. And you say, how are you? I'm doing good, ish. I'm working on a new page of my comic. I'm here enjoying some cool chill time with my friends, which is all of you, by the way, and you know, talking about subjects. Other than that, I'm doing pretty amazing. How about you though? How are you doing today, in this delicious day of the weddings? And Nathan, you said that you're disciplined. That's all. Well then, makes sense. I should have thought of becoming disciplined a long time ago, which I never did. Well. And Tiger says that the FDA is the Food and Drug Administration. Other than that, I mean, what exactly happens now that those two things have got their funding cut? Like, are they gonna... Well, they're definitely possibly gonna fire a couple 100,000 employees all over the United States. I'm sure. But that aside, what direct changes are gonna happen that you can give examples? Or are there no immediate consequences? Just, you know, decisions and people being laid off for lack of funding and whatnot. Because I wonder. And Donald says, Douglas, it's a political move to make the people in Congress... What? To make the people in Congress to think in and, in worst case for Trump's voters, bring an outrage to the system. That is what I'm currently thinking. It is to force people to act as well. Doesn't necessarily mean an overthrow, but a force of perspective. What? But wasn't Trump himself who made those changes? Why would he undermine himself? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, don't know. For Trump himself to go and do things that would certainly bomb his whole political scenario as a move to make people think worse of him. That doesn't sound right. I mean, who knows, maybe it is, but what even? But nonetheless, those are the things that have happened here, I'm afraid. I don't even remember how we got to this subject. Of the... Oh yeah, I was talking about NASA and shit. And how they had their funding cut and what other things were cut in turn. So, 2019 promises to be a very, very weird year, I fear. Speaking of which, we have gone through an entire... what was it? An entire... I forgot the term. An entire couple of weeks into this new year. And we have not yet discussed what are your guys' plans for the year. What are your guys' objectives, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, your resolutions, so to speak. Not necessarily resolutions, but your objectives and your plans for this year. My first plan for this year is to stop fucking spending money on upgrade things, because the last couple of years I have spent a lot of money on, well, you know, buying new stuff. And I mean, now I have a very good computer. I can stream stuff, I can play all sorts of games and whatnot, but I could have saved so much more money and spent it otherwise on, you know, my future and shit. Instead, I just have a better computer and a cooler cell phone, but I still live in the same cramped house, and I could be a couple of years closer to changing my housing situation rather than having a better cell phone and whatnot. So my plan this year is to pay off all the debts that I have concerning things I bought. Not necessarily debt, I have money to pay it all off, but it's money that is in my saving accounts. And I don't want to take money out of my saving accounts to finish paying for the things that I have bought and then start saving money again. I would rather just finish paying the things I have and then going back to starting putting money in my saving accounts. Maybe not even to go and change my whole housing situation, but after this road trip that we are gonna be doing here, I guess my horizons will broaden up quite a lot. And I'll be like, wow, now that I have a passport and money, I want to go to Europe, I want to go to America, maybe not. But I want to see the world. And I don't know, my plans for this year is to finish paying off the things I have to pay, then saving up some money, so maybe hopefully next year I can travel elsewhere. Go to Europe. See whatever part of this big bad world that I can see. And meet new people and shit. And you know, become Mr. International. Get multicultural. And, you know, take photos along the ride. Those are my plans for this year. And also to finish this comic that I'm doing, and maybe get work going on with this whole visual novel project. Because I do remember last year I said many a time that I had this visual novel project that I wanted to do. And truth to be told, you guys might be a little bit familiar with this, my previous visual novel that I have done. Well, I want to say visual novel, but it was more so of a super duper short game experiment thing. You could complete the entire thing in like 10 minutes. And there's just not a whole lot of content. But it was a game I made on my own and in very, very short amount of time. And ever since then, I did that thing all the way back in 2014-ish, I guess. I don't remember when. But it's been a while since I made that. And ever since I did go and make that, I have been thinking, wow, I want to make a visual novel. I want to make games. I want to make new stuff. Learn new skills and make new, more interactive storytelling shenanigans. And last year I had said a lot about that. Like, I want to do these, I want to do that. I never did though. I never did get around to doing any of those things I said I wanted to do. So this year I'm going to try and get started with doing those things. Because that's all I did last year. I said I would get started doing those things, but I never actually went and did. I need to have a little changing attitude and start working on those things. Get disciplined and do those things. Those are my bigger plans for 2019. Not necessarily like resolutions, because I intend to I'm not gonna be like, wow, by the end of the year I will have that done. I will be like, okay, I will take steps towards that goal. Hopefully I'll reach it before I'm old and decrepit. But in the meantime I will also keep up with the comic and see if I can find other means to earn money. Because you know what they say, you should never have one single income source, because God forbid, if you lose this income source, then you're screwed, because you have nowhere else for where to get money. So it's an important thing to have not just one income source. Anyway, Dono, you said it's not exactly undermining, but it's to use the system most likely to prove the issues in Congress. It was said in his manifesto to get fundings for the wall. People in Congress was voting against it. Okay, well then cutting funds would or could most likely make them think. After all, for a shutdown, it seems to me these Congress people might have a great time. I'm not sure it's 100% correct view, but that is what it seems to me when I'm searching around and checking sources, social media and such. And be right back. Sure thing, Donna. And Sam says I'm Bark. Was gambling and won a round. Okay, congratulations, Sam. And Nathan is saying that you plan to make a demo of something and start talking about something your own. Learn new stuff and skills and take some care of your physical condition. You need some sport in your life. Yes, having sports is good and important too. And you also said that yes, there is a lot of new tools to learn and you plan to make less freelance jobs. You do freelance jobs? My dog. How in the world do you find time to sleep? And Neku, you said that hopefully this year you will get onto something as well. What do you have in mind, Neku? What plans do you have going on for yourself? And Sam, you said that's good. What do you plan to focus on learning this year? And Neku, you said you know. I have in mind you B. I'm not a B. And I'm not asking because my dog, I have no idea and I truly want to know. That's my biggest desire in the world. I'm asking because I'm making conversation and because other than me, no one else knows. So how about you enlighten our guests, our friends, with what do you have in mind? Unless you don't want to share, then that's super duper okay and you don't need to do that. But, you know, for the sake of conversation, it's good to put something on the table. Dog damn you, Neku. No wonder people are trying to touch your neck, you see. Anywho. The Neku said Kim, Rod. I don't know what that means, Neku. When you say words like that, they have very little meaning. But anyway. Oh, you meant to say rude. Gotcha, you didn't mean to say Rod, you meant to say rude. But it's written in an impossible to tell way. I don't know why you would go out of your way to write words in a way that is harder for me to understand and therefore makes communication between me and you an incredibly lengthier and more effortful affair instead of just saying what you have in mind. I mean, sure, to each their own, I guess. But I'm not being rude. I don't mean that I don't care at all about what you are saying. I do care very much. Hence why yesterday I texted you that gigantic wall of text explaining what I think about your situation and giving you sound advice, you whore. I'm just saying that I'm not asking right now because I want to know, because I already know. I'm asking to make conversation and for you to have an opening as to explain to people what you have in mind. In other words, I'm setting the ground up for you to go and talk about your dreams and shit. And instead you made it all about how I'm being rude and how... And, well, sure. Sure, if that's your angle, I guess you're gonna play it to completion, and there's nothing I can do. So I'm just gonna sink back into my chair and keep drawing Jordan's mouth. Very thick lips, by the way. Anywho, Sam says, should I gamble again? I don't know, Sam. Do you want to gamble? I mean, what are you even gambling? Cause, I mean, why are you even asking us about that? It's you who has to ask yourself if you should or should not gamble, and take into account all of your situation. Is this a money which you are, well, I defaulted to money, I don't know, for gambling money or not. But anyway, whatever it is that you are indeed gambling, is it something that you can lose? Is something that you will not be missed? Like, oh no, I'm gambling my food for the day. If I lose my food, I will not have food for the rest of the day and then I'll starve. Is it something you can afford to lose? If it is this the only way for you to entertain yourself? And if it isn't the only way to entertain yourself, is this gambling really what you want to do right now? Is there nothing better or nothing you would rather do more? And if gambling is exactly and definitely what you want to do, then sure, go for it. What do you have to lose other than those things you said you can actually afford to lose? But if anywhere along the lines you got like, no, maybe there's a better use for those things, then don't gamble. Go do something more productive over time. Or not, I don't know. Do whatever. You're in vacation, so you deserve to be happy. And be young, and be happy, and happily young. Who knows? Do whatever floats your boat, Sam. And Neku says, Kim, I'm just being silly. Babing, silly, calm. I am calm. You're not calm. And Nathan says, there is a revolution in Unity. Also, you need more 3D tools in your arsenal, and you learn things most when you discover new things. It's hard to predict what you will discover. Yeah, that's true. So tell me, Nathan, how much coding do you know? Because you have been doing a lot of games. You have been working in the game industry for quite a while now, and in this time, I suppose that you have done a lot of art for games. But do you know coding? And if so, how much do you know? That's a question I have. It's a personal question. Has nothing to do with anything. I just want to know. And Sam says, don't worry, he's just playing dumb too. He did that with the other day. With M the other day. The other day. Sam, why do you purposely misspell the? Makes no sense. And Nathan says, gambling sucks, it's a drag, do not do it. And Sam says, we gamble, who pays for the milkshake tonight? Well, it might not be the only way, but gambling is something that gives you a rush. I bet you bet something you can lose something. I can't afford to lose. Good things I'm not a kakeguri. It means gamble crazy. You could have worse the use addict, but sure, whatever. And Nathan says, I know a zero coding. I know a little old HTML. That's all your coding knowledge. And Sam says, it's your keyboard actually. You know, you guys should really go and take a time to clean your keyboards or look into it, because, you know, it makes everyone's life harder when you misspell things. There is not a good single thing that comes from it. It makes it harder for us to understand. It makes people think you are, you are purposefully misspelling things, which denigrates their image of you, and it just sucks. Why would you go and do that? So yeah, do take a while to go and clean your keyboards. It sucks, it's not fun, but go and do it. It's worth the while. And if it's not dirt that is the problem with your keyboards, then I don't know, consider changing or buying a new one. Or taking the time to actually spell things correctly. If your keyboards are acting up, then, you know, go and manually take the time to go and spell things right. It sucks, but what the hell? It's best to spend a couple hours, well, spend a few more seconds of your day correcting words you misspelled than to go and spend everyone's time having them decode your mysterious message because they can't understand what's written. And yes, I am a grumpy complainer. Deal with it. Talk damn you. And Dono, you're bark. Welcome back, Dono. But how was your little break? Hopefully your life is a little bit brighter without me having complained like a grump old person for almost half an hour. And Sam says either that or you're typing way too fast. And then it says gamble me daddy. I will not gamble you on. I need you in my life. I cannot gamble you away. Because like I said, if you go, I will have no moderator here to take care of things. And I need a moderator here. And if you go, chaos will rain down upon the streams. Because there will be no one else to watch over the ill-intended people, and well, a lot of people will get offended and there will be no one to save them. So yeah, I need you here, Oni. Also, you're a delightful company to have, so yeah, it would be very lonely here without you. So I will not gamble you away. I will keep you as part of our little ensemble, our little crew, little posse. Whatever word the kids use these days for a group of people who join up for a common cause. Maybe a gang. Maybe a party. Who knows even. Anywho. Nathan, you misspell words because you're dyslexic and your English sucks. Yeah, but you see, Nathan, we all know that you're not a native English speaker, and that's okay. None of us are. Most of us aren't. There's a couple here and there that are, but most of us aren't. But we know that, and most of the time when you type things out, you try to keep things concise, so even if you misspell a couple of words, we can still understand it. But when you go about saying, hey, I'm a writer, then the least you expect is that, you know, you're gonna have some good writing and some good spelling and grammar and shit. When you don't, it makes me doubt your abilities as a writer. I mean, you can still have awful grammar and awful, you know, spelling, and that wouldn't make your stories worse. But it does makes it come into question how good you truly are if you cannot be bothered to truly go and curate your words. So what I'm saying is truly not that it's worse for me to go and understand what the hell you guys are saying when you misspell things. What I'm saying is that, hey, if you really want to do this whole writing thing to go somewhere, maybe you should pay a little bit more attention to how you're doing things. Make sure you're not, you know, sabotaging yourself unbeknownst to you. It would be good if you did the best you can to make sure that your brand and your creations go the extra mile that they can go. It was not simply by doing random illustrations that I got where I am today. It was by purposefully knowing, hey, whatever I do, people will look up to it, and whatever I do, their notion of me will change. If I start drawing more of this or more of that, if I stop caring for my style, or if I care more deeply for my style, if I change it or not, people will know, people will notice, and people will care about that. So it's the least interesting that you keep that in mind. That's what I'm saying. Also, by the way, like I said before, this music we have playing are royalty-free music from YouTube, so there's probably a lot of music I never heard before. That's why. And Nathan said those things you said, and Beowulf Butter, glad to know you're still there. Hope you're enjoying the stream. And Sam says no one is going to gamble on you, and Oni says, can you gamble your staggy daddy? I mean, you can, but why would you want to do that? Is it something you can afford to lose? And Donodaki says, Douglas, don't worry, we all have challenges in your life. Just give Sam time for a bit and encourage him to do something with decent amount of interest and delight. And Nathan says, this channel, but only will not be the same channel. Well, you're right about that, Nathan. Sam says, Sai, I wish I knew what you want to do with your life. You're already in the light and your computer crashed again. Oh man. Nathan says, I'm... In your language, the letter has different sounds, and you listener, you need hear things to learn. As your mind can't translate sound in English letters, it is some kind of glitch in your brain. Yeah, you see, that's the thing I have been doing for quite a while now. I already talked about this before. In fact, how a few years ago I used to not watch a single minute of YouTube at all. I didn't watch YouTube shows or spend time on it at all. I spent all my time doing whatever else, but I never went to YouTube to watch videos. And it was mostly due to, you know, this notion that, hey, watching... It was due to this notion that, you know, I could be doing something productive and creating my stuff instead of being here watching videos. But there is a use for that, truly. And that use has been true. And the use is to get more, you know, learn a little bit more about people in the world and how things work. So by watching a few YouTube shows here and there, I started to improve my heard English, because I had amazing written English. I still think I do, in a way. I have good written English, but I never had good spoken or heard English. So if you came to me and said stuff in English, I would be completely lost. But now my listened English is a little bit better, and my spoken English is a little bit better too, because I have spent an entire year speaking English words in front of a microphone here for you guys. So I do believe that in a way or 2 or 3 or 12, my spoken English has improved. and my listened English has improved as well. So there was a use for, you know, the YouTubes. Also, I got to learn, watch a lot of people talk to one another, and that has helped me also in writing conversation. See how people talk to one another and what words do they use and what words do they do not use. When writing, you learn a lot about character voice and how each character has their own voice, their own words, and their own slang and their own way of saying things, and it's well, it's interesting because when you watch people just doing whatever together, you get that sense. We get live examples of that, so that's cool. Anywho, Dono says, Sam, don't worry, just keep up the work, don't let Douglas disencourage you too much. He is just having some good points to be made, but strive further with passion, don't see it as work, see it as passion. Yeah, Sam, I'm not trying to discourage you or anything, I'm just saying that you know, as far as passion goes, Dono has a very good point. You need to see everything you do as passion. If you don't like doing it at all, then why bother? I mean, sure, there are things you should do in life that you don't very much love doing. Those things are necessary for being alive, but as far as work and vocation goes, it's always good to find something that you love doing. So yes, that's the first and foremost ground rule for pursuing something. Find passion in it. That's the only way you can do good in your work and still feel like, you know, and wake up in the morning and feel like, wow, I can't wait to do all those things I'm gonna do in my day. So yeah, having passion is good, but whatever it is that you're also doing, don't forget that you're existing in the same world as we are existing, and where other people are existing, and other people are not so, you know, kind and nice and gentle, and they don't take well to certain problems here and there. There will be people in your life who are incredibly kind and will take the time, whatever time it takes, to really guide you and be like, no, this thing you're doing wrong, this thing you're doing could be done better, this is how you improve and whatnot. But there will be people in your life who will have a big say over, you know, something that may or may not be your passion. They will have a big say over that aspect of your life, but they will not have the same patience to deal with you as other people have. And they won't be going through hoops like, hey, this thing that you have done, I didn't like that. Oh, those things I liked, but you could have improved on these or on that matter. They're just gonna see things they don't like about you and they're gonna say, no, I don't want you, next. Get out of my office, or something like that. And they will not bother to go through lengths to explain to you what did you do that they didn't like. They will not bother to explain why. They will not bother to explain you how to improve. They will not bother with you at all. They will just say, hey, I expected your best and you come here with something that is clearly not your best, so I'm not even gonna bother. There are people who are gonna think like that in the world. And if you're prepared for those kinds of scenarios, life will be a little bit easier, or at least problems along the way won't be as hard to deal with as when you go into these sort of situations completely unprepared. That's what I'm getting at. Is that do whatever you can to improve your chances of success. Some people may go and say, hey, I make my own luck, and they are not entirely wrong. You can stack the odds in your favor by improving the way you do things. So, by spelling things correctly and having a good grammar, you are improving your chances of successfully, you know, getting further ahead with your writings, if that's a thing you want to do. If writing is your focus, you should really think, hey, when I show up to someone and I'm going to present them my texts, am I sure that they are written in the best possible English? That there's no mistakes grammar-wise or anything else, spelling-wise. There's no grammars in here. That's what I'm getting at, Sam, and I hope you understand that. Nonetheless, Oni says the song and Doug's speech is hitting you in the feels. Oh no, poor Oni. And Sam says you should aim for a word that you love, not one for rewards, Dono. And Dono says, Sam, it's also about things you may not like, but turn it around from saying it's work to be passionate or make it fun. Even though it's hard, you're not dumb, just blind currently. In what you see, you're flawed as well. And Nathan, you need to go to the hospital. Sure thing, Nathan. Thanks for stopping by and I hope you had a great time in here. I'll be seeing you later. Stay awesome. And tell your friends, send your friend our regards. Of course, you're not here anymore, so I'm speaking this to the ether. But if you remember, tell your friends, send to your friends our regards. We hope he's doing better and well and a little bit less squishier. And Dono says we all have flaws, but it's about what we do in the fun ways that matters, and confronting and facing it will save you from being devoured from the Durgan. And also, hello there, Watchdog. Oh, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? How's it going with you in this delicious day of the weddings? Hope you're doing good. And Dono says, well, flaws makes you get stuck or unhitched, but if you turn it around, can be a weapon. Stubbornness is good if you have a name. Bad when you're trying to figure out shortcuts and not willing to change for other shortcuts. And Sam says, yeah, that's true, your flaws are good for yourself, but you have your ways. Well, you love most of the things that you do, that's why you always put your all in it. And Dono says, your problem has been thinking too much as a philosopher. In small measures, it's good, but too long as it becomes a stalemate or stuck and a waste of time. And Sam says otherwise you wouldn't be a secretary. It took you a long time to get to that place. If it is about passion, you know everything or true. And the market has no emotion, says Dono. You got to make your work and show it to the world, especially as an artist. Connections becomes essential even if your art skills is slow at the moment. And Dono says, why is in a tough way you had to learn some hard ways to take it from you, 20-year-old duck that still has potential. And the time you invest will steal your money for what you could have searched for other jobs in the meantime or talking to somebody to give you an opportunity. And Sam says, yes, I know, but at the moment you're not that kind of situation, Dono, you're still a schoolboy. And Watchdog says it goes good, bit of a slow morning. You're joining during a bit of a moment, so you wanted to wait before typing in a bit. How's everyone? Well, I'm doing great. It is a delicious day of the weddings. I'm working on some comics here, which you probably have already noticed. That aside, I'm preparing myself mentally too, because today, actually, you know what? Let's use tools. Why the hell am I doing this on hand if I can use tools like the ellipse tool, which I can use to make circles? God damn you, circles. And bracing myself mentally for a big trip we're gonna be doing this well, tomorrow we're gonna be venturing through South America, and it promises to be a whole lot of fun, but also promises to be very taxing on us physically and mentally, so we're taking that into account and hoping to enjoy the time. So this is the last stream I'll be doing for a few days. I don't know how many days, but a few days nonetheless. But other than that, I'm also super anxious about it. And that is more or less how I'm doing today. How about you, Watchdog? Other than having a slow morning, what are your plans? What do you plan on doing now that you are awake, fully woke, and ready to take on this big bastard of a day that is the day of the weddings, the hump day, as some would call it? And Donald says, believe me, after school, even if you have the degree, the job market is hard and crucial. Keep in mind, don't let it construe you. It was naive as well when you finished your study, but it wasn't your passion, it was for your thought, your family and such, and what others believe you'll be fit for, which was in the end not in your interest at exactly every corner. And Watchdog says, that sounds fun, I hope you have a great time. So do I. I have very little knowledge of, road trip shenanigans, but it's gonna be a hands-on learning experience, and hopefully it will be a good one. Thanks for your concern, though. This actual part here of drawing this space station thingy reminds me of college. This moment when this year when I was in college a couple of years ago. Well, 3 years ago now. And I was in college and there was this whole class that was all about making geometrical drawings for, design and architecture and shit. And a lot of it had to do with you never freehanding anything. It was all about using rulers. Like, do you want to draw a line? You need a ruler. You need 2 points from which to draw a line from and to. Do you want to make a circle? No, you can't just go about making circles in there. You need points with which to define where is the center of the circle and where is the edge, and then you have to use a retractor to go and draw that, or whatever you call those. The little stabby tool you have in school, which is a little pointy thingy with a little graphite blade stick. Well, that's cool tool for making circles. If we wanted to make circles, we had to use that, but we couldn't just go and do circles. We had to go and make sure we knew where circles were beginning and where they were ending, and that was fun. We had to buy a lot of fancy materials just for those sort of things, and in the end it was fun. I learned a lot of stuff, but I completely forgot all of it by now, due to not being in college for 2 years now. There you go. But it was fun while it lasted. I liked it. I liked it very much. But it was stressful. And drove me to have a little anxiety crisis, which was not fun, and which would keep happening if I remained there. Anywho. Simon said, "Oh, trust me, no one is going to let them lead your life but yourself." Gotcha. Watchdog says, "Your day should be great. Got a few things you need to do today, but shouldn't be too bad." And Donald says, "On the naysayers is a direct good indication to stay away or not wasting your time looking for support for." And then it says, "Neck, you see." And no freehand, learn from your mistakes. Art is forever and so are your mistakes. I'm the opposite of Bob Ross or Bob Bitch. What the hell are you going on about, Oni? That's not how it goes. You can't be negative like that. I mean, you can, sure. When you take on the guise of Bob Bitch. Tell me a little bit more about Bob Bitch, Oni. How is him? In which ways is he an opposite of Bob Ross's? Do you mean that he's always angry and yelling? Is he bald, but have a full-on beard instead of just a goatee? Does he instead of slapping the devil out of the brushes, does he draws pentagrams to summon them and whatever? He doesn't use his paint, he uses blood to make his paintings. Instead of painting peaceful little landscapes, he paints people dying and such. He paints crime scenes, grisly murders and whatnot. And he doesn't reassures you of how making mistakes is okay whenever you make a mistake. He breaks the fourth wall. He somehow has a live feed cam into every person watching him right then and there, and if the person goes and make a mistake, he stops the video, turns into the camera and say, "Hey you," and then he says your name. "Hey you, own me. You shit face, you fucked up." My dog, Bob bitch, sounds horrible. I would not like to have him as a teacher. Or as a... anything. Who knows even. And Donald says... only depend on what you do. It might even be better to use tools to get the things done, rather than spending 20 minutes for one circle when you need to make a whole comic. It's better to just be forward and backward and use your practice session for circle training. And only Sam says my spacebar is acting up. Like I said, Sam, look into it. Or take the time to make sure that what you have typed is actually writing correctly. And Quantum Velvet says, "Hi Doug, hello to you too, Quantum Velvet. Welcome to the stream. How's it going with you today?" And Neku, you said Nekusi. What's up, Nekuroy? What is up? What do you mean? What do you want? And on top of that, Oni said that he's the opposite of Bob Ross. He's yelling at everyone, cries at his mistakes, gives up and blames himself. Oh no. Poor Bob bitch. Feel sorry for him now. The poor guy. And Neku says hello to Watchdog. And then it says he destroys everything. And DMs Neku. And Donald says, "Good lord, that career in art is short with that attitude." Or get a new keyboard, Sam. Yes, that is a choice, true. See, Sam, you have so many choices. You can get a keyboard, you can clean your actual keyboard, you can take the extra time to make sure you're typing things correctly. Life's too short. Should be making grammar mistakes when typing online. And Sam says, thinking of having your friend fix it. Can't you do that yourself, Sam? Keyboards aren't really, you know, rocket science. Most of them are just a circuit board, a little rubber, some screws, and a plastic case. You can disassemble that easily by yourself. You just need a screwdriver, and there you go. You're home. You're in the home stretch. Just unscrew everything and take it all apart, clean it up, and then reassemble it. Keyboards aren't rocket science. I mean, they're not fun to fiddle with, sure, but they're not as bad. Also, this circle could be much smaller, I reckon. Why could this circle be smaller, Doug? Well, let me tell you, my little inquisitive friend, because I said so. Because actually the rim of this cylinder thing I'm making should be thicker. And to make it thicker, I need to make the inner circle smaller. There you go. Now it looks better. Or it doesn't, I don't know. I hope it does. This is a space station, by the way, in case you guys can tell. And of course you guys cannot tell because it doesn't look like anything. But anywho. Instead of 3D modeling this, which should be easy, truth should be told, now that I think about it, I had not even thought about it until now. Instead of 3D modeling this, I'm freehanding it. And then I'm gonna see how many mistakes I commit, and then I'm gonna sit down and cry. When I realize how ugly this whole thing is. Or I'm gonna throw in a shit ton of brush effects and shit. And see if I can make people not realize how bad this is. Via the magic of painting. Painting over and around it. Okay, there we go. Should be good now. Should be goodsies. Okay, gotcha. And Quantum Velvet says, what is this deaf being you're drawing? It's a space station. It's, so... I'm gonna draw this character here. This boy driving a spaceship out of this space station. So it's gonna be coming out of here. I haven't even thought of what the model of the spaceship is gonna be. It's gonna be one of the ones that showed up in previous pages. I just hadn't given it a whole lot of thought, really. But it's gonna be so small because we need to show the scale of the space station. It's pretty much just a speck. In the grand scheme of things, that is this dog-damned space station. It's like, wow, it's a fly pretty much. And truth should be told, they should go and do some more drawings in here. Should go and make some, what's it called, windows in here in the corners and blah. Because, you know, it isn't a space station unless there's a lot of things sticking out, like solar panels and shit. Which wasn't in the original design, but fuck it, I'm gonna add it anyway. We need some solar panels. And gigantic ones of that too. Why not? Solar panels aren't this big, true, though. Let's say that in the future they can be very, very big. Just because. Why wouldn't they? And in the future, solar panels are not even gonna have this square shape. They're all gonna be hexagonal. Because sure, everything in the future is hexagonal. Why wouldn't it be? That's the way the future works. Beehive patterns. Because in the future is when we realize that the animals had it figured out all along, and we hadn't, and we were like, fuck, we should have paid attention to those bees. They knew what was up. So in fact, what I should do here is draw an array, a solar panel array. It's just so much work to put in now, though. Because what I'm thinking here now is that the entire outer edge of, like, say, this entire portion here, well, this entire portion here of the thing should be riddled with little hexagonal solar panels to provide the everything. But anyway. And Donald says that, of course, explains that. And Sam says your friend wants to work fixing computers as a hobby for extra income, so he fixes her stuff for free, and then he's good at fixing these things up. You're his test dummy. And Velvet says, ah, okay, so it's not a death ray, but a dog ray. Bill says the ring is to create artificial gravity. Yes, it is. I was looking up into that, like, how does, well, artificial gravity shenanigans, and lo and behold, it has to do with big rings. Big ass rings rotating around. And then I figured that out and I said, no shit. Because boy does it looks dumb. When you think like, I don't know, a big ass space station thing, it could have any shape or form, but why a ring? And when you learn why, then you start, oh, okay, now that I think about the physics behind that, it makes sense. I guess I told you guys that the first, I don't think I have, but anyway, the first sci-fi anything that I have ever seen in my life, other than Mass Effect, was Battlestar Galactica, which is an amazing show, by the way. But in Battlestar Galactica, they never really explained that, because they have this. They have the Battlestar Galactica, the ship, the homonymous ship of the show, and in it is the cast and where the main events unfold, with people inside that space, inside that battleship, being like, okay, let's have drama today. And things happen. Okay, so we can already tell this is gonna take forever to do. I'm not even gonna bother. Just pretend there are little things in there. Anywho, in Battlestar Galactica, that's the ship where everything takes place, but everyone just walks around in there. And they never explain how they have gravity over there. But whenever they're showing like, all the capital ships where humanity is being at, there is one ship that has this sort of ring for artificial gravity, and when you see that ring just going by, I mean that ship going by, you're like, what? Why is that ship even? What is this stupid looking thing compared to, you know, Battlestar Galactica, which is a ship? And then you're like, oh, okay, so that's why. It's because of artificial gravity shenanigans. And Sam says, looks like a Ben 10 space station, you're having connection issues. And Dono says, okie dokie, gotta go, have a great stream. Sure thing, Dono. We will. You have fun and we'll be seeing you later. Stay awesome and take good care of yourself, boyo. Damn it. And okay, no text anymore. You guys don't need the text. Quantum says, haha, I think hexagonal is predicted because it is much easier to tessellate the shape in more than just 2 dimensions, whether a sheet or a dome. It is a shape that naturally lends itself to a repeating pattern and allows for a larger surface area to be covered. Yes, exactly. And yeah, the ring spins, creating a centrifugal force, making everything on the inside being pushed out to the innermost portion of the ring. Don't you mean the outermost? Anyway, Oni says, I might take a quick nap as the stream plays. Sure thing, Oni. Don't sleep for too long, and don't forget, if you're dying in your dreams, you die for real. Sweet dreams, honey. Sweet dreams. Yep. Okay, now it's the time to do the line art. And this is the first time I'm gonna actually finish a comic page before schedule. Like, dog damn. I was actually thinking to not stream today, that so I could focus solely on making this comic page. But I guess we could do both. Work on the comic page and also have a stream going on. Especially because I need to tell you guys how much... Sorry, how much I'm gonna miss you all during my road trip. And also let you guys know that I'm going on a road trip. That's so you guys wouldn't be like, whoa, wait, where's Doug? He hasn't been seen in days. What the hell is going on? So now you know. I won't be around for a few days because I will be going on a road trip. Surprise! Alright, so for this page here I have a few design ideas. And the idea is to have this panel here, showing that character. God damn it. And I have a panel here, just showing a little bit of string of text, not a whole lot of text, just a bit. And then elsewhere I have panels, like he... oh well, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw in panels. Then I'm gonna divide these panels here with this. Actually, I don't. I guess it can be a straight line panel thing. Then two panels like that, and then a horizontal division here between these two pens. And then a much smaller panel here. Oh, damn it! At the bottom. For the big reveal that is gonna be happening in this page of the comic here. And you guys are gonna be like, oh no, I can never see this coming, except if you watch the stream. Then you're like, oh okay, so now I see where did that came from. I see. But anywho, this is the layout that the final page is gonna have it. And as you can see here in this, well, actually let me merge layers and throw it in here. There we go. Delete rulers and we're good to go. So here in this big panel we're gonna have the space station floating around, which is possibly, probably, hopefully gonna look very dope. But I'm not gonna have panels on this. I'm not gonna have framing on this panel here. It's gonna be kinda taking the whole page. So the whole page here will be black, like everything all the way down here will be black. To confirm for like, it's the space. It's black everywhere. I think it will look dope. It will look very different from the previous pages as well. And Quantum says, well, if you are in the ring, it pushes you into it. Really? I thought it was the other way around. And Quantum says, but I guess, yeah, it would just push you outwards in general. Watchdog says, yeah, but the ring is really inefficient. It would take a lot of energy to spin it. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that in the future they will find ways to have it spinning that doesn't take that much energy. Then that won't take as much energy, or at least it will just take a lot of energy to start to spin it. But once it's already spinning, then they can simply tone down and let it spin on itself, like with its own momentum. Because in space, with there being no drag or anything, things will just keep performing their motions. There's no way, there's nothing in space that will make you, you know, break. In theory. So if they throw in some motion to have the ring start to spin, and they say unlock some sort of motor or mechanism that was forcing the thing to start spinning, it will just then remains spinning on its own. I think that's how that would work. I never got a degree in physics. I have had physics classes, but whenever covered things like centrifugal force and gravity in space, the only things we covered in physics was like, if you apply n newtons of force to this box horizontally in a flat surface, it's gonna be pushed to the other way, and that's it. And likewise, if you push it down, and it's not gonna move because you're pushing the ground, and then the ground is pushing you back up, which is called a normal force. And when I learned about the normal force, I had the most mind-boggling moment ever. Like, what? If you guys are not aware of what the normal force is, go look up a video. I can't for the life of me explain it, but my dog, it's crazy. And Quantum says, oh yeah, it's a fun solution, but would take quite a bit to get it to stay in motion without causing the entire station to spin. Yeah, I don't know even. I mean, that's an issue for the engineers of the future to figure out. My solution is my job is to propose ideas and create entertainment that either backs up those ideas or capitalizes on them, or uses them to explain things that so my fiction feels a little bit more grounded and feel like, hey, that could actually exist, you know. Anywho, Sam says, I know what the normal force is. It almost took your grades. Is physics from good to bad, but you had determination, so it went okay. Yeah, if I were to sum it up, from what I recall from my physics class in college that I took back in 2011, the normal force is one of the laws of physics, because whatever action you do has an opposite and equal reaction to it. So when you push something, something pushes you back with the same strength and the same everything, and that's how it remains a state of equilibrium. Because, say, for example, we weight something. So we are constantly pushing down towards the center of the earth. Because weight works like that. But if the earth was not pushing us upwards, we would just sink down all the way into the center of the earth and we would die. So what is going on is that we are pushing the ground down, but the ground is pushing ourselves up with the same amount of force that we are putting into it. And that is the normal force. Because when I push the ground down and the ground pushes me up, both with the same amount of force, then we achieve a state of equilibrium where no one is pushing anybody and I stay still and motionless. So for there to be equilibrium, for things to not move and stand still, something has to make sure that they stay that way. But since everything has weight, and everything pushes down, something has to push them back up. The normal force also applies otherwise. When you try to push, say, a box horizontally through the ground, through a plane, through a flat plane, you are pushing that box horizontally, but that box is also pushing you. And it all comes down. The only thing that determines if you can or cannot push the box is how much force you are applying to the box and how much friction you have with the ground. If you don't have enough friction with the ground, the box will be able to push you away. By which we mean the force that it's throwing into you is going back and is causing you to slip on the ground. In a way. However, if you do have enough friction with the ground or enough force to push the box with, no matter how much weight, then you'll finally push the box. And depending if you push the box closer to its to its top or closer to its bottom, or rather farther or closer to the ground, changes what direction you apply that force in. The farther away from the ground you push the box, the more diagonal force you're applying to the box, which means you're pushing it not only forwards but also downwards, which means you're pushing the box into the ground, which in turn is making the ground push the box back up and into you. So you're making the box have more friction with the ground, which makes it harder to push. However, if you push it closer to its bottom, closer to the ground, you are pushing it upwards, pretty much. So now you're fighting off gravity, which is trying to push the box back down to earth due to its weight, but you're not pushing it against the ground, or rather towards friction. So it's slightly easier to push the box. Of course though, depending on what the shape and format of the box is, pushing it from its bottom might cause it to tumble or might cause you to have awful back pain, but that's the way physics work. In a nutshell, from what I remember. I might be wrong about a lot of things, but that's the basics of it, and I guess I can't have screwed up the basics that bad. It is possible though, so make sure you go back, check your high school textbooks and double check if any of that is wrong or not. Quantum Velvet says that the main issue is the friction of the bearing that holds the ring to the rest of the station, likely would cause it to slow after some time. All the same, yes, proposed to the future, it would love a solution to be found. I mean, people more or less have found solutions, like possibly, you know, spinning rivets and swirling things and a lot of lubricant rather. You guys are not European, you don't say lubrificant, you say lubricant. Anywho, lots and lots of lubricants, and I don't know, regular maintenance will keep the thing spinning endlessly. And if it does start to spin down, people will realize, oh no, gravity feels a little bit weaker today, let's throw in a little bit more spin into the space station, and then they would go and throw in some spin into it. And I imagine that by then they would have, you know, after the initial spin, they would have found ways to generate enough energy to give it one more flick into the old spin button and make it spin for a little while longer. So I imagine that those maintenance spins would happen like every other month. depending on the size of the thing. But yeah, if a way to reduce or even annul, to even nullify friction is found, then holy dodderoo, there will be infinite spinning space stations going on. But like I said, I was looking up references and I found out people going on into the I found out people like writing their theories and people showing up research that has already been done into that, and people have figured out ways to do that. Problem is, it's incredibly expensive to go and build one of those space station things. Hence why no, we don't have one of those going on already. It's just not doable with the amount of money it would take and the amount of materials. It would be a very lengthy enterprise, and unless everyone agree that, you know what, for the sake of this space station, let's not charge anything for aluminum and energy and other things. So if it wasn't the cost, if it wasn't for the ludicrous costs that it takes to build and launch a space station, they would have one going on already. It would maybe it wouldn't have been like 100% successful, and it would have flaws here and there, but we would be more or less towards it, rather than being here where we are, where NASA cutting is being found. Well, NASA funding is being cut, and people saying, well, time to abandon the space station because we ain't gonna support this anymore. And Quantum says it's pretty cool how gravity, normal forces, and centrifugal forces are balanced to keep up in place. Science, yes, exactly. Science is incredibly amazing, but incredibly not something I care to go too deep into. Like, what? Sure, I will read an excerpt of it every now and then when I'm researching ideas for comics and things, but I will not go and study it at all. It's not that fun. Anywho, only you say you have more friction when your staggy daddy sleeps with you at night. Oh, I'm sure you do, honey. I'm so damn sure you do. And Quantum says, no doubt, space is expensive. Why can't you just have your own space station? I mean, it is a thing, indeed, that people are like, hey, I have, with my own hands, and with the, well, no. My family have had this whole aluminum factory going on for decades now, for maybe even a century. We have invested hard into making and selling aluminum to all of the world and making it a thing. And then someone comes and says, hey, I'm willing to build a space station. Can't you just say, hey, aluminum for you is free so long as it's first the space station? And imagine for these people being like, well, now there you go, I can go and give them free aluminum, but why would I do such a thing? I have employees to pay, I have things that deals with money, and I have to solve all those money issues, and I'm also not 100% sure that I should bet on this guy's proposal for the future, or something theoretical at best. Should I trust all my money and my family's enterprise into this to this guy who is saying he can build a space station. Should I? And you will find that most people say, nah. I would rather bet on something that I know will give me returns. Now Quantum says, please government, may I just have one space station? I promise I'll give it back. I mean, have you not watched sci-fi anything? You don't go and ask the government to give you a space station. You go wait for the space station to happen, then you go in with your friendly bunch of space pirates, raiders and shit, and then you go and take the station by force and say, now this station is mine. That's how you do it. Quantum Velvet. If you want a space station, wait for someone else to build it, then take it for yourself. Same thing goes with spaceships. Wait for someone to go and create a spaceship, then go and steal the shit out of it. Or do like those people who created cars. Because apparently through here they tell it. Someone invented cars, and then there was a point in the world where there were only 2 cars going on in the entire world, and the people in those 2 cars still managed to crash into one another. Possibly they were doing some sort of tests and whatnot, but yeah, when they make the spaceship, when they make a second, make sure they don't crash into one another. Steal it and go see what you can do with it. Unless it's an original character, then don't steal. And also, very good snoot, says Quantum. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate this delicious, delightfully delicious snoot that I'm drawing. But anyway, I have spent hours talking about everything and nothing at the same time. So, how are you guys holding up after almost 3 hours of talking and debating and everything else? How are you guys holding up? Do you have anything you want to say? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to correct me? Because I'm sure I got a lot of stuff wrong. Because if you don't, I will start talking about other subjects. And you don't want that to happen, do you? So, the first thing I have taught the other day was to work on the visual novels. I told you guys already, but I thought also of doing it on stream, making devlogs. Last year I had thought of doing that, but I thought no one would go down with that suggestion of doing the NaNoWriMo, the National November Writing Month, live on Twitch. For those of you who don't know, the NaNoWriMo is when you take on this challenge to write a full 50,000 words novel within the month of November, for no better reason than just because you can and because you want to. You're not doing it for charity, you're not doing it for anything else, you're just doing it because that's your dream, dogdamn you. It's to be a writer, and you better believe both of your balls that you're gonna do it. And they challenge you to go and do that. To write an entire 50,000 words novel in 30 days. And I thought, hey, maybe I should go and do that. Maybe I should go and write a 50,000 words novel in a month, in the month of November, but during the stream. And I thought, nah, nobody would sit around and watch me fumble with words for 4 hours until I started and wrote an entire story. but I thought that it was an interesting concept at least to go and do that, or to see someone doing that. It would be interesting. I would definitely not watch the entirety of it, but I would check it out 1 or 2 days, and I'm kind of like be like, okay, let's watch out for that one. Hopefully it'll come to fruition one of these days. But I never done it for many reasons. So I thought about that, and then I thought, hey, maybe I should do something similar but more interesting with the game development shenanigans. Because, I mean, watching someone write words, it's not as fun, and if you catch the stream in the middle, you're gonna be like, well, now I'm getting spoilers. So there you go. For this story you're writing. So I thought of doing that for the game dev shenanigans. To go and work on art assets and maybe do a little bit of script writing and coding whilst on stream. That's so you guys can see the progress of the game. How is it working? How's it looking? And how's it holding up? And Quantum Velvet, you're doing well. Kinda sleepy today. And Watch Dogs says Sleepy Froggo. Aw. And that's quite a challenge. That's quite the challenge. A novel in 1 month. Yeah, there are people who do that. It's crazy, but there is people who do that. In fact, there's this huge. Well, it feels like it is huge because little do you know, when November comes by and you are signed up to those newsletters, it seems like there couldn't be anything else going on in the world with the amount of messages you get from that. Dear NaNoWriMo people showing up. So it feels like their community is huge, but I don't know, it might be very small. Nonetheless, their community of people are very into the idea of writing a novel. There's people with all sorts of literary resources like, are you writing a novel? They feel like Clippy from Word. It's like, are you trying to write a novel? How about this tip? Or these resources on how to write a novel. And there's a lot of useful things. Stuff that I have used not for writing novels. With dog forbid it, I have not written novels in my day. But there's a lot of resources on how to write characters and shit. And you know, writing a comic, that comes in handy. I have many a times stolen their resources. They even have this whole thing where there's this big writing program called Scrivener. You may or may not have heard of it. It's the quote-unquote professional program for writing stuff that needs writing that is like story related. If you're writing an essay or whatever, you can just Google Docs. But if you're looking to write a novel and something that you need to organize with lots and lots of text and files, you better believe that, what's it called again? The Scrivener is your bet. And the people in Scrivener are like, hey, have you done the NaNoWriMo challenge? And have you won? Have you managed to write an entire 50,000 words novel? Oh, good for you. Here, have a 50% discount in our product. It's not even that expensive, but even then, that's like, holy shit. That's a big ass discount. For a writing program that you can use for anything afterwards. But anywho, Quantum, you said that would be fun, trying to learn about more game dev yourself so you can make your game come true. Everyone's trying to learn about game dev. Which apparently is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You just have to say, I'm gonna go and do it, and then you start doing it, and then a few months later you have a thing done. Kinda like with the comic too. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and then a few months later I was done with my first comic, and I said, wow, it worked. Except that the comic works in mysteriously different ways, because I can do one page and post it up on the internet and people are gonna be like, wow, it's a finished page, I can see what's going on. Whereas with a game you can't say just posting a line of code and people can say, wow, I can see how that would play out in a game. It doesn't work like that with games, I'm afraid. So you can't really show just a bit of work, you have to show a lot of work at once. And while you don't have, you know, something you can show, it feels really demoralizing to just be working on something that may or may not ever come to fruition. So yeah, writing novels and doing comics are easier because you can see the thing taking shape much earlier, and when it has any sort of shape, be it good, be it bad, you can already share it with people and say, see, this is a completed part, be it a chapter, be it a page, be it whatever. You can say this is done, and whatever else I release from now on will add up on top of that. Whereas a game, you have to work months and months and months to have a viable demo which you can then release and have people be like, well, that looks cool, but, and buts will come. But yeah, it is challenging, especially to go and do it on your own, but I super support this idea of going and doing a project for yourself, be it a game, be it a comic, be it a novel, be it a music album, whatever it is. Whatever it is, good luck with it, Quantum Velvet. And if you need help, make sure to ask. Either we can help you with something, or we can direct you to someone who can. There's Nathan, who shows up in the streams every now and then. He's an actual professional game developer, and he certainly could offer a lot of insight into that. Maybe. And Nani, you awoke from your nap. Feed me, Staggy Daddy. There's no Stag Daddies here to feed you, only, so I'm afraid you're gonna have to starve. But welcome back. How you doing? How is it going? Anywho, Quantum Velvets, you said that we'll be working on things in parts, know the basics behind what? We'll be working things in parts, know the basics behind the programming, learning the 3D modeling now, and we'll then do all the writing now before then getting deep into the coding. I mean, sure. I wouldn't advise that approach whatsoever, but I can see how that is something that could work. From what I have gathered from doing the Golden Week comic and whatnot, it's always good to have a project which you can do and end in a very short amount of time. By short amount of time, I mean like 2 years. Tops. You don't want to spend more time than that on a single project. So if we're talking games, I would say try and do something that you can put out within 6 months. By which I mean you will force yourself to keep it simple, keep it small, and keep it grounded. By which I mean mostly have something. Obrigado. By which I mean you will be doing something very, very, very you have something very simple which will allow you and help you learn the basics of what it is to do a game, to write the code, to make assets and whatnot. So that dream idea you have, don't make it your first thing. Break it down to something simpler and make that something simpler first. And Sam says, can I feed only Kimballs? But you said you like kibbles, you have Kimballs made by Mr. Kim. Who? What? You talking about, Sam? I have not done anything. And Quentin says, oh no, I'm not doing that idea first. Well, good on you, because you shouldn't. Ow. You should be doing something doable first. Then you go learn the basics, and when you have all the basics down, then you go and do the advanced stuff. Also, a thing that you will learn doing any creative whatever is that whatever it is that you're doing, it's much easier when doing with a team. So finding people who have skills you desire, or even if they don't have skills you desire, finding people who are down with your idea and teaching them, or having them learn the skills they need to be able to help you with your project, is, you know, it's gonna be very imperative with getting your project out there. So pretty much start up a cult, except that you're not gonna fill their heads with religious ideals or whatever. You're just gonna have them believe that the thing that you're doing is amazing, and that they should feel humble that you're even allowing them to help you with it, and then have them learn skills which can help you, and then go to working on it together. Or not, maybe just hire someone or have a friend and compromise a little bit and do your game thing together. But the gist of what I mean is that you guys should, whenever possible, work together. It makes everything so much faster and better and more interesting, because everyone brings new ideas to the table, and it just makes the world go round, and it's amazing, and you should do it. I don't do it though because I tried. No one wanted to do anything, to have anything to do with me. No one wanted to be like, okay, I'm gonna forsake all of my years, my everything, to work in a comic with you, illustrate it for you just because. And the people who did want to go and be like, okay, I'll stop doing whatever I'm doing to help you with your comic. We're like, but how much are you gonna be paying me? Because this is the prices for which I will do those things. And then I said, well then, I guess we're not gonna be doing business then. But of course, that's petty of me. If you have an idea, a thing you wanna get going and happening, like a comic you wanna put out there, you should truly and truthfully not be afraid to spend money on it and be like, well, you know what? It's better to pay someone to do stuff for me than to lose time doing something I don't need to be doing and take longer to get my dream project out there. So yeah, don't be afraid to pay someone to do work for you if the end goal is getting your comic ready and out there, or your project, whatever your project is. And also, what's up, Bio? Why the angry face? What have I done to make you an angerino, doggo? On Quantum Velvet, you have a plan and a goal. Don't worry. Oh my dog. Oh my dog. Wish I knew that beforehand. Then I would not have worried. Now I'm the one who's worried. Because I don't have either. I don't have plans and I don't have goals. I mean, I do have goals, but they're very... They're not set in stone. They're not well defined, and they're pretty flexible. And when you have flexible goals, it's like, what? What I mean to say is that my goal is to do this thing, but when I manage to do this thing, I'll possibly move the goal a little bit further, because, you know, once I am done with this thing, I won't be like, okay, my life's ambition has been fulfilled, there's nothing else for me in the world. I'll just sit down and watch at my achievements and be there for the remainder of my days. I won't do that. As soon as I'm done with my goals, I will get new ones and have more shenanigans going up, which means I will never stop working, pretty much. And on top of that, there is also the whole, if there is this idea that I have a mind of doing, but this plan of sorts, but it proves too challenging or too impossible for me to achieve on my current conditions, I will be like, well then, how about I lower the bar a little bit, and instead of doing all those thousands of things I wanted to do, just do 3 of them and call it a day. That's the thing, true. And Quantum Veva says, oh yeah, you already read that, sorry. Anonymous says, Kibble is made by Matt Ryan Kibble, aka Mr. Kibble. What? What are you guys going on about? You have gone down and made me a bamboozle boy. Why would you even go and do that? Make me a bamboozle boy? What sort of sick fun do you get from that? Anywho, I didn't speak about this page, and I should have spoken about this page. And also, hello there, Deruga, welcome to the stream. And yes, as it happens, this is a wolf-friendly stream. It is a canine and animals-friendly stream. It is not friendly, though, for myself. because I'm always judging my every move, and thus it's not good for me. But it's possibly good for everyone else. So hello and welcome. How are you doing today? How is it going? I'm working on a comic page and a new comic page for the Interdictor, and I was just about to go and say a little bit more about that. About what the heck this is. Also, hello there, Anoli. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. How are you? How's everyone's day of the weddings going today? Hopefully you guys are having a jolly good day. If you aren't though, let me know if I can do anything to help you. Anywho, this is the new page of the Interdictor, and without text and without context it's a little bit spotty to make out the story here. What's going on is that we have these characters in the previous page. They decided, you know what, we're gonna run away. We're in this space station and we don't want to be in the space station anymore, so let's go. So they did that. They stole a ship and went. So now they're flying out. I posted this page last week though on Patreon. You guys didn't see that if you're not patrons, so this is an awesome opportunity for you guys to hear why you should become patrons, because you get not only to support me but also to read these pages in advance with quote-unquote colors. Anywho, this was the characters Jordan and Gervil. They decided to go and escape the space station, by which they meant hijacking a ship, which they did. Well, Jordan did. Gervil was just along for the ride, more or less. And now they're taking off outside of the station. So the first panel, which you can see all the way over there in the top right corner of the stream feed, is a big preview of the entire page. You can see the panels, how they are laid out. The first panel there, which is a very rectangular panel, is Gervil just taking off with the ship. Then the second panel, which is the huge area in between panels, will show the space station from very afar. And will show a little speck of dust, which is the ship flying out. And being like, oh no, we have to go. And then the next few pages are the characters bantering a little bit, also throwing in some delicious exposition. Because, goddamn, you gotta love that delicious exposition we keep throwing in. That's so people will know what the heck is going up. And then we will end with two little panels showing the characters' exposition. Well, the characters will have a little exposition where they will say things, and the last two panels will prove that the things they said, well, the things they believed in, are not actually true and could prove to be a problem for them in the future. Or not. Or will it though? Or won't it? I don't know. Maybe you will know if you become my patron and read this comic book page later today when it releases. So there you go, how about that? And that's what I'm doing here. And Oli, you just woke up. Well, wolf morning, or wolf afternoon, or wolf evening. I don't know when you woke up or where in the world you are. But wolf morning nonetheless. How's it going? How are you doing? What are the plans for today even? That's the most important question. What the heck are you gonna do with yourself today? Now that you're awake and the day is brimming with possibilities and places to go and things to do. Tiger says, this doggo is very cool, I like him. Oh, he's an amazing doggo. young Gervo. Which is the dopest name I ever came up with. And I'm so happy with it. Because it's an original name, but also it's a made up name, but also it makes sense in a way. But not really, nobody understands it. And Watchdog says, thanks for the stream, Doug. I need to head off to do some work. Hope you all have a great day / night. Sure thing, Watchdog. Thank you so very much for sticking around, and I hope you have an awesome day yourself. Go do amazing things with your day, and well, enjoy yourself. And Quantum says the same thing. I have to head out as well. Thanks for the stream, Doug. Very good chat. I say the same. Thanks for enlightening me on physics. And I'll be seeing you next time. Stay awesome. And then Noli says, morning, I'm on the west coast. I've gotta play video games at some point, but otherwise I've got no plans since I don't work Wednesdays. Oh my dog, Wednesdays. These are off days then. Great to know. That means lots of good things are coming your way, hopefully. Whereas for me, I was just telling people how about the comic and how I'm not gonna be streaming for a few days now because I'll be on a road trip. Surprise, surprise! I'm gonna be on a road trip. So don't be scared if you don't see me for a few days. By a few days, I mean possibly the entirety of the remainder of this week and the next week. I will be back eventually. But anyway, this page here though, page 15 or 14 directly, I don't even know. This page here of the comics is first of all delightful, second of all full of stuff, third of all it's the last page of this current scene. Like I said, I don't remember if you guys if anyone had any questions about this or not. I divide my comics in chapters / issues, and then each chapter / issue are divided in scenes, which then are divided in pages, which then are divided in panels, but you knew that already. The scenes though, they range from a few handful of pages, and they feel lengthy at times, because sometimes I go, oh, once with the Golden Week I went back and forth between certain characters, but most of the time the scene just shows what it needs to show. So this scene here was showing, well, introducing first and foremost Gervo and Jordan, these two new characters into this plot. Actually, Gervo is not new to the plot, but he wasn't. The previous time when he showed up, there wasn't a lot going on with him. It was just him being his proper self when the aliens showed up one day. And then we had a time skip, and he fills in the gaps with the time skips, and he also goes on an adventure of his own. So we have met Gertrude before, but Now we're meeting him as an older, younger boy. Well, not younger, an older boy. An older, young, still young boy. Who's going on a space adventure. And we get to meet Jordan, who is truly a new character to the series and to everything here. And we get to see their dynamics, what's going on with them, where they're going, what they're doing, and whose faces they're punching, pretty much. And this whole scene was to introduce them as a duo of sorts, and also to introduce what the hell they are doing together, and leave behind a little plot hook, a little cliffhanger for the next part of the comic. Next chapter, really. They won't show up for the remainder of this chapter, I'm afraid. And then, well, there will be the road trip, so I'm afraid there won't be a new page next week. But the week after, if I don't say fuck it and start just focusing on the visual novel shenanigans, we should be starting up with the new scene, which comes after this. As we all know by now, I hope, there was a little time skip in the comic from when the aliens, by which I mean the humans, showed up to right then and right now, when Gertvo is an older boy. So with this time skip, one has to wonder, if Gertvo is now older, what has happened to all the other boys and girls, puppers and pupperettes back in the Canine Planet? What the hell is going on in there? Because, I mean, if Gertvo is older, I imagine that the rest of everyone else is also older. So how are they doing? What's going on with them? And that's what we're gonna see in the next scene. After this little time skip, we're gonna jump back to those characters, see what they are up to, and see what sort of shenanigans they do to once again create another plot hook and leave behind a little cliffhanger when we're done with page possibly number 40. This is page 15 by the way, so we still have 25-ish pages to go before we're truly and 100% done with the first chapter of the Interdictor. So 25 pages means 25 weeks, which means, wow, mathematics time, which means more or less 6 months. So by August, possibly, I will be done with the Interdictor. This first chapter. But by then I will possibly, hopefully, also be done with the Calm Yours visual novel, which I'm still more or less planning and thinking about. So as you can see, I already have my work cut out for me for the next so many months to come. And anywho, Oni, you said that you want another chubby staggy daddy to be with you and your staggy daddy, so you can be sandwiched with love. A stag wish, asks Anoli. Oh, you say yes, you'll call the cops after a week, Doug. Oh no, 1 week is too short a time. And Sam says, well, it looks like I'll have to say your lonely farewells. Doug won't forget about our existence while you're away. What? And Oni says, in other words, being a total Oni and asking questions and poking at the situation. What do you mean? I completely lost track of what you guys are saying. If you were saying something to begin with, which I hope you were. On the bright side though, whilst on this road trip I have a lot of time to think and reflect on the comic here. Because I mean, even though a lot of you have expressed how interested you are in this plot that I'm doing, whatnot, I still can't help but to second guess myself. I know you guys are really encouraging me to pursue whatever it is that I think is cool and dope, but I can't help but to think that maybe this is in the way. Maybe this is like well, I won't say a waste of time. It's not a waste of time whatsoever, but it might also not be the best content I could put up, so to speak. I have noticed a lot of people dropping completely and totally their Patreon support after Call Me Yours was over, and yeah, I wonder if it's worth it. There's still a lot of you supporting me, which is amazing, but I really wonder, like, should I keep pursuing this path here with the Interdictor, making this comic and telling these delicious stories, which are a complete, immense challenge for me and my storytelling skills, because it's unlike anything I've ever done before? Or should I default back to something I know will give me immediate returns? Either be it in comic form or the visual novel thing or whatever else. That's the thing I think about. And not only that, but well, other things too, but those things are a little more grim, so to speak. So it'll be fun. Should be out of my normal everyday environment and think on those issues with a refreshed head. And also to take some photos. I suppose I have showed, or at least posted on Twitter, that someday during last week we went to a shopping mall. I bought myself one of those cheap ass cell phone camera lenses pack that comes with 3 shitty lenses, and they alter your, well, the way your camera behaves in very small, almost meaningless ways. They do work. Truth should be told, the fish eye lens really does makes everything fish eyedy, but it has a kind of an ugly outer circle, outer rim circle that shows up, and that's kind of ruins a little bit the photo, because if you don't want that circle you have to go and crop the image. That's not fun. Alongside other things, I wish also I had some sort of lens that function as sort of zoom, optical zoom, because that would be the coolest thing, to be able to see things from afar, because everything else is just like little gimmicks. They're not really big features, so to speak. They're more gimmicky than anything else. But that's what I'm thinking about. Now that I have those things, I will be able to take them with me and take photos in new, weird and crazy interesting ways. Also, this big boyo you might see here right now is the new character that I have came up with. I might have showed him over on to some people who probably are not even here, so they won't be saying anything about him. I'm almost sure. This is a new character that I have more or less thought about before, previously, for this comic precisely, but a much earlier version of this comic, like years back. I had thought of a character kind of like this one, that would function and work in the same way as this one, except that back then I hadn't good enough drawing skills that I could realize this character, put him into a picture. But now I think I can. So that is going to be challenging when the time for this character, because now he's just being teased. Later on he will be actually shown as a character, and it will be such a huge, incredibly challenging challenge, and I have very little idea on how I'm gonna tackle this challenge. Should not keep being so vague about what the hell is going on. This is a character that I had thought before. My original first draft ever of the Interdictor as it is was for me to have Kurtful as a bounty hunter, so he wouldn't. It made very little sense, but anyway, he would be a bounty hunter, and he would be going through the galaxies and whatever, with a companion who was gonna be like the heavy hitter of the duo. That was gonna be Gertrude and this guy here. He was gonna be the companion. But I thought, well, I'm going to be doing alien whatever's, sci-fi shenanigans, so this guy doesn't need to be human. He could be anything else, any other race. And my original draft also had this reptilian character that worked kind of like a space cop or something. And this character here was just he wasn't very well defined to begin with. He was kinda meant to be a I didn't know where I was going with him. He was supposed to be a possibly reptilian, possibly human, possibly kinda animalistic character. Well, by which I mean with kinda like some loose animal traits. And the idea was for him to be a sort of centaur character, like lower half body to be kind of a weird creation of whatever alien-ish animal I can come up with. And then for the upper half to be like normal human body, but also a slightly alien-ish face to make, you know, I don't know, somewhat of an original character. But he was, I kept trying to come up with things and it just couldn't be original as to what the hell is going on. I guess I was trying to mix up one thing too many in there, and it just didn't work out at all. I was like, what the hell is going on with this boy here? Why can't I seem to nail down his design at all? And I kept thinking, what the hell is he? But I know it. But one thing I had in mind is that he was gonna be of all the things he was gonna be, I wanted to keep in the centaur bit, or the Thor bit, because it felt unique enough. And this is what I wanted this comic to be, about very unique things. So I thought, you know what, sure, he's gonna be a unique character, he's gonna be a Thor something else. So then came figuring out what the hell the other bits were gonna be. So I spent the last few days trying to come up with this character, which I did. In the end, it was down to two options, which was I decided he was just gonna be a human character mixed with a ram or goat or whatever. So he was gonna be a ram man of sorts. And that was it, a ram man. But as I was doing it, I tried to go both routes. I tried to go with the whole centaur route to see what he would look like, and then I went the other way. I tried to make him not centaur, just have the lower body just like anything else, like just filling the blanks that is this character, and then the lower half would default to being just, you know, an anthropomorphic lower body of a ram or a goat. So he would be, so in the end he was like a satire man. I don't even know how to say that word. But anyway, that was it, and I said, so that's my choices here. I see. Either I go with this satire man, or I go with the Ram Thor man. And in the end I just said, you know what? This character started up as a Thor man because of how unique this was and how unique I wanted him to be. So taking that out now wouldn't make it fun. And at least it still has something unique going on for him. So even though it's gonna definitely make my life so harder for me in the future by figuring out how the heck to draw him into panels and in compositions, I still like it, his design, his look, and I'm gonna keep it. So that's the story of this character I'm illustrating right now. And then he says, "Bork at me, Doug." Why? Why do you want me to go and do that, Oni? Oh. Sorry, I accidentally punched the microphone. Which definitely wasn't a good move. You guys probably heard a loud noise. I apologize for that. But was moving things around here in my desk. And now I'm not anymore, so don't need to worry. No microphones will be punched from now on. Also, this character here, when I was drawing this scene here, this page, this panel, this sketch, I was thinking I want him to look a little bit more menacing. I couldn't though. I guess that's just not in me. I can't do that sort of stuff. Draw menacingly or purposefully creepy stuff. I just can't do that, no matter how much I try. So I won't even. I'll just accept that and move onwards. But anywho, we're almost done here with the stream. Which only has half an hour remaining. I still have to finish this comic book page here, post it on Patreon, and do all the other stuff that I normally do. So, everyone, this is the last half hour I'll be seeing for, possibly, before I am back from my trip. So if there's anything you guys want me to know, or want to say, or want to share, or whatever, now's the time. Speaking of now's the time. I tried to test Catherine the other day. I think I said that, in fact. Okay. I think I said that, in fact, Monday when I went playing Yakuza, that I tried to play Catherine and I couldn't because it didn't work for whatever reason. So yeah, that's a thing. Catherine didn't work. So that will take me going through and doing some troubleshooting to figure out what the hell is going on with that. But if you guys have Catherine on computer, or know anyone who does, and who has also had problems with it, please let me know, because I really wanted to replay that game, man. Now with not having it and it not working properly, it's gonna be hard to go and do that. So if you guys have any insight as to that and willing to share, I would be very glad and very appreciative of your guys' helps. Wow, you guys are awfully quiet now. I wonder what happened. Is it the music? I guess that it's the music. This music is putting everyone to sleep. So chill and so low. Or it's me, as always. But in case it's the music, let's pretend it's the music. What do you guys think of the songs that I downloaded from YouTube Audio Library? Apparently they're royalty-free songs, which means I well, everyone really, can go and use them on their videos or their whatever without any problems. They're not copyrighted, so they're royalty free, which means anyone can go and play them whenever and for whatever reason. Which means that when I use these songs for streams, the audio doesn't get blocked afterwards because we're not really using any copyrighted songs, so there's no reason to block the audio. And when we play the songs on the streams and we upload the stream to YouTube and make it a video on demand, still the audio of the video doesn't get muted, because that's what happens nowadays. If you're throwing a stream into YouTube, a huge portion of the audio gets muted in case there's songs playing. Well, all the songs that are copyrighted gets muted. That portion of the video gets muted, which sucks. But also having videos without any single music would make them very dull. So we try to play music in here. Sometimes we have to go through several lengths to make sure that they don't hinder anything else. But sometimes we do want to hear the music that we do want to hear, and unfortunately these musics are copyrighted, so that is a problem. But these songs here that are playing are from YouTube audio library, so I don't know exactly how it works. But if I were to guess, I would say that artists, musicians, they go out there, they make music that they like. Well, they make music, period. And then they upload this music that they have made into YouTube or audio library or into somewhere in YouTube and say, hey, this music is royalty free. I guess that they may even upload it to their own channel. I don't know how YouTube works, it's too confusing for me. And they go and say, hey, this music is royalty free, there is no copyright in it, use it now however you want, just credit me afterwards, or something to that effect. But the sentiment is the same, is feel free to use this music for anything you want. And then they make they put the music in there, and there you go, music ahoy. And the song that is available is mostly unknown stuff, because it doesn't feature in anything, because it's original music. But I like it. I think that it gives the stream a very chill mood, and that's what we're here to do after all. We're here to chill and have fun. I'll forget about all the bad things, but mostly have fun. And I don't even remember what the point was, but there you have it. Royalty-free music. And I like these songs. So do let me know if you guys do like these songs as well, or if you don't. Because if you don't, I'll try and go and look up for a new soundtrack stuff. If you do like the songs, I'll make sure to go back and replay them next stream, or even find more of the same musicians and same creators and whatnot. See what we can get going on with these songs here. And there we have it. What's happening, Oni? Why the sad face? What is getting you all hot and bothered? What is getting you so sad and upset? Tell me, Oni. What is it? There we have it. Full page is done now to draw the space station. True. I forgot about that, damn it. One you said what's getting you hot and bothered is your daddy rejecting you now. And that one of four left you behind in IKEA. Why would he do such a thing? He knows not to leave you alone in IKEA. God damn that one of four. I'm gonna have to go and file a formal complaint towards him when I have the time. That dog them Wolferoo. So yeah, I think that this is it now. I'm just gonna go here, do the line art of the space station, and this will be it for today, because then we will start coloring. And damn it, because then we will start coloring, and when we start coloring is normally the time when I like to throw in some background music or background audiobook or some background YouTube videos, none of which I can play here during the stream. But nonetheless, thank you, Oni, so very much for keeping me company here. You and everyone else who is there lurking while I try to get this whole space station circle shenanigan going on in here. Well, let's suppose that's how it goes. And also, hello there, Bio. Glad to see you're still hanging out as well. And thanks for the AU. You will not get fined in here. And only, why don't you want people to touch your squeaky toy? Don't you know only that sharing is caring, and when you care about people, people care back about you? Sharing is fun. And you should do more of that. Except that it isn't sharing, it's not that fun. It can lead to fun things, but the act itself is not that fun. And then you said, don't touch my squeaky toy, cause I'm gay, that's right. Give people company cause you're a Bernese boy. Is that what Bernese boys do? I'm gay, but the squeaky toy has your slobber dog rule that he who slobbers all owns the item. That is true, actually. Okay, so people don't touch Onis's squeaky toy. It has a slobber in it. The boy and boy. The more I think about this space station thing here, the more I think about mechanical design, and that to make this thing look like really legit, I should have added all sorts of like rivets and panels and little prints and shit. I should have added a lot of stuff to make this thing really pop with life. And make it feel like 100% feel that it's an actual space station, not just basic geometrical shapes floating up in space. I think there's even some video tutorials, or not necessarily tutorials, but like processes and walkthroughs of a person doing an illustration of a space station. They're like, now that I have made the basic shapes, now it's time we added the details, and then they don't even show the details being added one at a time. To just go and throw in all of the details at once, like there we have it. First it was a circle, now it's a circle with antennas poking out of it, lines all over the place leading to places I don't even know, and these and that and those and lots of stuff. It just gets crazy. And also, hello there Nathan, welcome back to the end of the stream. How's it going? Have you been to the hospital? Have you visited your friend? How's he doing? Hopefully better. Also, lucky him to have such a good friend such as you visiting him every day. Yay, let's try and do this line in a single movement. Takes a couple of tries, but we can do it. Okay, there we go. And Nathan said, yep, he is better. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you're here, so. And Nathan said, that's good to hear, he's gotten better. Yes, it is. It's always good when friends of friends are getting good, too. It's good to hear that everyone's doing better, truly. Also, I don't know about these little solar panels things that I have said, because I was like, you know what? Not even gonna do that. The whole space station is gonna have those lateral solar panels that I said. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna have these rectangular solar panels too. can always say this is their first issue, and then as the things went by, they decided, you know what, let's do hexagonal space panels, I mean solar panels too, and have them going on. And we're almost done. Would you look at that? Took us only, what, 4 hours? But we're done with this pages' line art and sketch. Now I can start throwing some colors. And then after colors will come the rest, the entire rest. The entire rest is doing the colors, well, quote unquote colors. After the colors will be the shading then comes the backgrounds. Shouldn't be too hard. Because, I mean, the interiors backgrounds are harder to do in this comic, because there's a lot of mechanical and technological things going on, but the exterior backgrounds are incredibly easy to do, because all they are really is space, so it's a big black with stars all over the place. So, well, you know, the exterior background is really much better to do. And I think that maybe one thing that would help here, this whole panel, is to have like an arrow going that direction from the panel to show that they are in that small ship in there in the distance. Also, maybe throwing in more vessels here on the outside that help populate this world a little bit. Make it feel like there isn't just one vessel going on, there's like many floating around, but our heroes are in D1. How about that? Like, so many space vessels going in all over the place. Very small, all of them very small. And then we have our heroes here escaping the one vessel. That's cool, that's dope, I like it. Maybe I should not do that because theoretically the station is supposed to be locked down, but who cares. And this is it, everyone. We are donezo. So now I can hide the sketch layer, see how everything is looking now, and get ready for the next part in this whole process. We're just doing the entire thing over and over again. But anyway, let's save and let's end the stream. Because I'm hungry and I need stuff to eat. So once again, one last time, just to get this thing, just get everything right. This is Gertwell. He and Jordan have hijacked the ship. They're taking off from the station. They're flying away. And then he's like, well, sorry space station, but we need to go. And here he's going like, we need to enable FTL travel thing systems, blah. And she's like, why are you saying that? You don't need to say that broadcast for that to the entire ship if there's only me here? And he's like, well, that's how I learned. That's protocol and stuff. And then here's a shot of the I think it's gonna be background. And this guy is in the jail, in the brig, inside his ship. And she's like, well, there's no need to say things. If you need to say things, tell it directly to me. There's no one else in the ship. But little do they know, there is. Haha. And that's how this comic is gonna, this page / scene is gonna end. So there you go, spoilers. Spoilers. But if you don't want to get spoiled for real, then go to my Patreon site and, you know, become my patron. And support me over there. You get to read comics, and you also get to read comics, and you get to read them as soon as they come out. So you're never being spoiled anything. Other than that, I would like to thank you all so very much for showing up, being here, and hopefully for having a delightful day, a lovely day of the weddings here with me and everyone else. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you didn't, as always, tell me, let me know, and I'll try and do something to improve it. If you have, however, liked it, make sure to share with your friends, but don't do it just yet. Don't share it with your friends right now. Not right dog them now, because right dog them now, I'm going to go away and then I'm going on a travel. I'm going to be going road trip, and that means I won't be streaming for the next few days. By next few days I probably mean for a week. I won't be streaming. But I will be back eventually, and then we will talk again and have lots of fun times together again. But anywho, in the meanwhile, go and check out all of our amazing friends who do streams. You guys can always go check out Seth Wolfbane. You guys can go check out Spiker Conan. Right now I'm gonna send you guys to check out Wolfrain90, who's playing some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Check everyone, check every single person you can, and tell them that Doug sent you, and as always, stay amazing everyone. Or awesome, whichever one you fancy. And have a delightful day of the weddings and the rest of the week. I'll be seeing you guys later. Check my Discord and my Twitter for updates on my trip and on when I will or will not be back. And other than that, stay awesome everyone. See you later and bye bye.